They weren't very expensive.
Great. Okay. Well, let's get started then. So, you guys, as you all know, are members of the Isbrand, which is a essentially monster hunter group for hire. So you're generally the people who will be called when there's a dragon attacking or something along those lines. You guys are the pros who are hired to sort of try and save people, but for a price. And you have been newly granted the rank of Ulf, which is to say the kind of main soldier rank. Almost everyone in the Eastbrand are this rank. You have the Rotte, the lower, kind of less, the recruits, and the Bere, who are the upper ranking kind of council members who make decisions and try and sort of actually run the guild. But you guys have just attained this rank, and you've been summoned to go and take your first contract. So before we do that, why don't you guys go and explain who your characters are, and yeah, just tell us a little bit about them. So we'll start with Chet.
Well, I wasn't listening. I'm only kidding.
You waited for so long there that I was like, oh god, he's actually being serious.
Well, yeah, for the joke to work, you really have to sell it. I'm playing Calden, who is more or less a ranger with slightly more spell stuff. What to say about him? Even though he's fairly young, he's got white hair and a white beard. Generally prefers to wear the colour white as well. Likes to be out in the cold. His trusty longbow is made out of yew and inlaid with walrus ivory, and it's called Kolstyrki. And that's about all I can think of.
Awesome, man. Okay, we'll go to Joe.
All right. My character is Skjor Burdenborn. He is the fourth son of a noble who basically had too many brothers, and instead of worrying about inheritance, his father just shipped him off to the church at a young age. So he is a cleric. He worships the war goddess Sigrid, and he travels around, though he still has some of his he has his ring from his family, and then his papers of pedigree. But he prefers not to use it if he doesn't have to. Other than that, he's fairly tall, probably around 6'1", long blonde hair. Sticks with his armor most of the time, just because he worships a war goddess, so he's always ready to go into battle. Is there anything else you need to know?
No, that's it, man. That's great.
Okay.
Justin?
Hi, I'm Justin, and I'll be playing Borvo. And Borvo is a bard of the College of Swords, and he spends most of his days either training himself with other men-at-arms from the village, quite possibly passers-by or travelers. And when he's not doing that during the day, he's often teaching one of his many children how to use the blade. And then he spends many of his nights entertaining the rest of the village. And Borvo himself, he is of average build like his brethren. That is to say, he's tall and broad of frame. And he has long hair that hangs over his chainmail. And he also has a shaggy beard, giving him a thick brown mane. And other than that, Borvo has two long swords hanging at his side, and that's Borvo. He's probably humming a tune right now.
That's great. And finally, Tony.
Isleif Gunson stands about 6'1". He's about as broad as he is tall. Isleif is in his early 20s. He keeps a very neat, trimmed beard. He keeps his hair trimmed too. Isleif believes to be politeful and respectful to all, as long as they are politeful and respectful to him. His nation and his people what matter the most to him, that he can serve his nation and his people and protect them in whatever way. And those that are fight beside him, he will fight to the end with them. His life is young, but he has quite a bit of wisdom for his age, more than others do. And he believes that he is well ready for this mission.
That's awesome. That is awesome, everyone. So we're going to take a couple of liberties here because it is a one-shot. So firstly, a bit of backstory about you guys. You all joined the Isbrand together for whatever reasons, but you joined at the same time. And you've been training for about a year, and you've finally reached the next rank. And you're all, pretty close. You all know each other quite well. The bond of training and growing together has made you all very, very close. You can all have a point of inspiration because A, you're going to need it, and B, you all came up with such awesome characters that you all deserve it. So what we're going to do here is you guys are on your way through the kind of the corridors and the kind of rooms of Sterkol, which is the mead hall, which the Isbrand calls home. This huge kind of essentially Nordic castle that's in the very, very north, the northern town of Isodit. And you each would know another thing is that in the Isbrand, one of the things is respect. And when you are greeting an elder, there is a certain salute you should do. I don't know if you guys need this to roleplay or whatever, but it's you take your fist and you put it to your right fist to your right shoulder. But yeah, so you guys are walking there, and if anyone wants to do anything or say anything, they can. If not, we'll just go straight in.
Yeah, as Borvo enters, he's just trailing off, humming at the tune he was humming before.
Probably giving blessings to any passing soldiers. Just the quick one, not the full.
Isleif hears Borvo singing this tune, and hearing this tune maybe get a little too loud, he walks up next to him and whispers to him, "There'll be time to sing tunes later. We need to show respect now."
And quickly, that mutes the singing for now.
Awesome. So you guys, you get to the door, and it's closed. This really dark wood, hard door, and one of you can knock.
I guess I'll knock.
All right. So you knock.
Do a heavy one.
Yeah. And it's kind of really loud and echoey through the halls. And you hear a voice say, "Enter." And as you go in, you would know that you are in the office of the Bera Scalagrim. He is the oldest, and he is harsh but fair. He is stern man, but he does an outstanding job, and all who know him love him and respect him with the utmost.
And as Borvo enters, this Bera is greeted with the salute, and standing erect for a moment from Borvo.
Yeah, Skewer will come in, stand about about 10 feet, kind of making a place for a line, and then do the salute.
And he would look at you all, do the salute back, and then say, "Gentlemen, we have a particularly difficult contract, and, well, since you all passed with such flying colors through training, we feel this would be a good way to test you." And he kind of gives you a knowing smile, as if you guys are going to have one hell of a time. And he says, "Before I tell you what the contract is, under Isbrand law, you must choose to accept it or pass before I tell you." And you would all know that the reason this was implemented is to avoid people being scared. You have to accept it because it's your duty, and you can't back out once you know. And the Isbrand pride themselves on being undaunted.
We'll accept right away. So.
Indeed, before you stands 4 men of steel. We would not back down from a contract given to us by the Isbrand.
And he nods and says, "It brings warmth to my heart." And he hands out, and he lays on his desk, which is in between you, a roll of parchment and a pad of ink, and you are to basically stamp your hand, your clenched fist in the ink, and stamp it on the paper. So I'm assuming, unless anyone says otherwise, that you will do this, and the 4 fists of you brothers adorn this piece of paper.
Yes, Borvo, he pulls the chainmail gauntlet off of his hand as he signs this contract.
And he would take it, roll it up, and he would put it in a chest which is behind his drawer, behind his desk. And he would say, "Well, now you may hear the contract. The contract comes from Jarl Sigurd Ragnarsson, who you would all know is the Jarl of Fjellmarch, which is a town kind of in the south and is quite far away from here." And he says, "It is, well, you are to kill a," and he kind of is searching for a way to say it, and he kind of sighs and just says, "You are to kill a fire giant. The name of this giant is Bran, and he has been laying waste to the farms and villages nearby. He seems to be coming from the mountains, and proof of his death will reward you with 5,000 gold pieces between you, 50 of which comes to the Isbrand as per the laws of us. You will be provided with mounts and transport, as well as anything you may need from the armory."
As soon as he says fire giant, Skjor will tighten his grip on his warhammer and become kind of quiet.
And you would see instantly, he would notice this, and while he's talking, just for a second, he would flash and just meet your eyes and kind of give you a bolstering look, and you would feel a sense of kind of calm come over you, and you'd feel up to the challenge, such is the way of Skallagrim. And he says, "Unless there is anything else, you are all dismissed." And he would salute.
Salute, and then turn to walk out.
Yeah, Borvo would be close behind him.
Awesome. So as you guys kind of file out, you're kind of now able to make your way to the area. It's kind of down in the bottom in what used to be the dungeons of this mead hall, and it's where the quartermaster's workstation is. And you guys on your way there have a moment just to talk amongst yourselves if you want to.
I say to you, brothers in arms, have any of you even heard tales of fighting with giants like this? How would we, if we could choose the means, how would we?
It is best to disable them at the legs, or so that is what my clergy has told me. My goddess was born from the war against the giants.
I have heard many ways of defeating giants, but it's all about, they turn into fantastical tales of adultery. Nothing of the blade mixing with the fire giant.
As far as I know, they're as vulnerable as men, simply larger. If you take out the legs, you take out their height advantage.
Excellent, then. I shall swing true for the knee and the heel.
That's great. And so as you guys go to as you guys get to the quartermaster station, the man there, Nielsen, is fairly old, very kindly man, and you're each given one of the packs that the Isbrand get when they go out on missions. Everyone gets an identical one of these. It contains 5 days of rations, 2 potions of greater healing, and just some special herbs that, when burned in a fire, will give you sort of strength and warmth, and mechanically that gives you advantage on Constitution saves, and you can use that on a short rest or a long rest. But each of you get one of these packs. And as I said earlier, if anyone wants to, take an extra sword or a weapon or something, you're very welcome to. No need to tell me about it, just write it down. And you guys can be off. So
can I just ask, these
Yeah.
herbs for the advantage on the content, what's the kind of length of time that they last?
they last for about 12 hours.
Right.
Yeah. These are very potent herbs, and they've been kind of treated and mixed in ways that is a secret that Isbrand have kept for years and years and years. So you guys would know that Fjellmarch, where this contract came from, is about a 3 or 4 days ride from it's from one end of the country to almost the other. And so you guys are given, you can either choose to have horses between you or a cart, but it's up to you, and you're basically given the option of a horse each or a cart for all of you.
Borvo would lean towards having his own horse.
So would Calden.
And I do have animal handling too.
Isleaf would agree to that.
Yeah, I would go with horse as well.
Great.
Though a cart would be useful for bringing back trophies.
Like
Giant
a giant's head.
Yeah.
So you guys also get the option to plan your route here. There is a direct road from Isedet to Fjellmarch. You can go through that road. There is a turning off, kind of about halfway through, to the capital city of Dragasetter. You can go there if you want, but it will take you an extra day to get there and a day to get back to the road.
I'm sorry, did you say Jarl Sigurd Ragnarsson was from the Rygard or Lavlandet?
Fjellmarch.
Fjellmarch, sorry, okay. I was just looking
Are
at
you
the map.
on the map on the wiki? Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem. So he's from Fjellmarch, which is kind of in the middle next to the mountains, and you guys are up in Isodet, right at the top. So you guys can take the road all the way down. Yeah. So we're gonna fast forward. Do you guys want to go to the capital city?
I think Borvo's happy to just sing as they ride down the center of the road right to their destination, but I'm not opposed to going to the city.
Yeah, because going to the city would, just on travel time, add an extra 2 days.
Skewer would advise. Oh, yeah. Skewer would
I was going to
advise.
say there's no time limit, but you can, with all due haste is kind of the precedent because it's killing people basically.
Skewer would advise to head straight there, just because giants tend to wreak havoc very quickly.
Wise words, brother. Travel onward we shall. Mind me not as I sing of this man from Nantucket.
So you guys can go. We're going to fast forward about 4 days. So you guys are basically about to just pull into Fjellmarch. You've rested for 4 days or 3 nights, and it's kind of towards the end of the fourth day. And why don't you just go ahead and each very quickly just describe what you have been doing kind of on the road, any mannerisms or anything you've been doing on the way.
Well, for Borvo, it's definitely, he's just been singing in the saddle, probably in the middle of the group, annoying, for most part, probably just annoying people, because after 1 day is nice, but 2 or 3 days of a bard singing, come on.
That's great. So we'll go with Skewer.
Sorry. So Skewer will be. Let's see, he's riding, so he can't really prepare anything. Pretty much reading his holy book and basically kind of doing a prayer meditation for the coming battle. He's definitely looking to prove himself against giants, just because it's one of the main foes of his goddess. So yeah, he's fairly happy about this. So he'll be in really good spirits. Probably not excessively drinking, but like a little more boisterous and joyful with everyone around.
That's awesome. Colden.
Like even the extra singing doesn't get on his nerves too much.
Great.
Colden would be noticeably the quietest of the group, I would imagine. Spend most of his time travelling slightly ahead, looking very tense, scouring the landscape and the horizon. But at night when they camp, you'll see him visibly relax more, especially after he returns from hunting for any game that may be nearby, something to fatten our bellies and keep us warm. But that's about all Calder you would really notice about him doing.
Awesome. And finally, Isleaf.
On the first day, you would have seen Isleaf be up close to the front trying to keep up with Calden, and in his eyes, he would have had this urge to get there as fast as he could. And on the second day of hearing the bard continue with his songs, he would have fallen back to almost the rear of the party, and the bard wouldn't have noticed this, but he was trying to get away from the ongoing cacophony of this bard and his music just going on and on and on, and he's trying to get his mind set about himself and what they're fixing to face, and he's trying to run through all the stories that he's heard about giants, and especially fire giants, and knowing what they're going to have and what they're going to approach when they get there. So on day 4, he's falling behind. He's 20 foot behind the rest of them, but part of it's to keep away from the noise of the bard, and part of it's he's getting his mind ready for what they're going to face.
Yeah, so as stories about giants would go, you guys all know the story of Sigrid, the god of battle, or goddess of battle, I should say, that Skjor worships. And you would know she battled Rogvir, who's this giant evil necromancer giant. I said giant, whatever. But you know, and there's several giants. But apart from that, there haven't been many stories of giants. You've always got the kind of, you know, the bards and the storytellers in the bar. You know, one saying he swung and, you know, cut a giant's penis in half with his axe. You know, general stupid bard stuff. But apart from that, there's not much. So you guys are coming to Fjellmarch, which is a very, very rich fortified city. It's kind of reminiscent of Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings because it's kind of built into the side of a mountain. I think it's Minas Tirith. And you would know that kind of it's never been taken by, you know, it's never been defeated or taken over. But you guys, the guards would see you coming and kind of halt your movement. But you would all be have you know, tattoos and whatnot. The Isbrand tattoo, which would kind of signify them who you were, and they would know instantly and immediately move to let you pass. And you guys can go straight into the city. And there's one long road up, kind of winding up through the mountain, and they just say, please make haste straight to the castle. And obviously I'm not going to force you guys to do that, but that's what you've been implored to do. Would you be just heading straight to the castle, or would you stop for resupplying or whatever?
Borvo probably, upon greeting anyone at the gate, would have, probably insisted something about being men of the Isbrand and already under contract with the Jarl Sigurd Ragnarsson, and indeed needing to present themselves to him with haste.
Awesome. So if no one has any
Nope. Skior would definitely want to at least hear what he's supposed to do first.
So, you guys go up, and you know the castle's large, and word's obviously somehow been sent ahead of you, and the guards just immediately move and let you pass, and you can walk straight in. And it's this, you know, you're led into the main hall of the Jarl, and it's there's a kind of a throne, and he's sitting in it, kind of in a very, very relaxed way. He's got one foot kind of, or one leg over the arm of one side, and he's leaning back into the corner. He looks quite young and very kind of, very sort of cocky. You get the impression, but after some time speaking to him, you realize that he's actually a very kind of shrewd man who's very, you know, quick-witted and actually seems to be a pretty great ruler. And he would kind of see you come in and instantly, you know, get up and go over and kind of shake each of your hands with both of his. He's not terribly tall, he's quite skinny, and he would say, "Gentlemen, hello. So glad for you to be here." And he would click his fingers, and people would come with horns of ale for you, and there would be food on the table, which he says, "Help yourself." Kind of as you're eating or drinking or not, as your character would do. He sits back in his throne, and as you guys sit opposite him at the table, it's quite a surreal experience. It's very kind of casual. And he would kind of take a chicken bone and pick his teeth with it. And he would say, "Well, gentlemen, I'm sure you have already received the briefing for your contract, but you're here to help rid me of a problem. There is a fire giant, Bran, who has been raiding the nearby villages, and just recently he came to the gates of my city and said he would be back within a week, and we must pay him tribute or he will destroy us. we need him taken care of. So who better than the Isbrand? He is up in the Rigard Mountains, not far from here. But he comes from the Cracked Cove. And you can all roll history or religion checks if you'd like to see if you've heard of the Cracked Cove.
It's not really Borvo's wheelhouse, but maybe just using his bardic proficiency could help someone try to recall a fact or a tale.
I've got a 17.
19 for either. So.
All right.
Sorry.
Checks. You say you got 17.
17 with a -1.
All right. So Skjor and Colden would know, and maybe Borvo to some extent has heard stories, but nothing concrete. But you guys would know that this is a place of religion, or of religious significance, and is said to be one of the barriers, or one of the holes in the net. So you guys know that Innis, the net keeper, is one of the gods worshipped here, and it is said that he has thrown a net around our world, which is the stars, to protect this plane of existence, this world, from things that are in the dark realms, the area where everything is black and essentially hell. If you end up there, you are in darkness and hunted constantly by all manner of things. And this is supposed to be, the Cracked Cove is supposed to be an area which is where a kind of hole in the net, as it were, and a thin boundary between this world and the world of darkness out there. And so him saying that he's come from there, or what people have saying, or people have been saying that he's come from this place, that this is big. This could be big. But he says, you are welcome to stay the night if you wish, but please. And he just says please and kind of gives you a look. You can react if you like.
Skjor would be kind of not untrusting, but he doesn't like, kind of just because of his history, he doesn't really like being in the presence of nobility if he can help it. So, yeah, he's all for going right, or at least leaving this area first, and then getting on with the fight. Eager to prove his glory, eager to get some glory.
And Borvo has he ate through most of his rations getting to the city, but he's now filled up his rations with a lot of the fresh fruit that might be available on the table, and he's of course indulging as well.
Yeah, and there would be food as well, kind of by the door, which is essentially more rations like dried meats and fruits and things for you to take to help you, as that's one of the kind of unwritten rules. Is if you summon the Isbrand to help you with something, you should feed them and restock their food. Just as a kind of, it's a common courtesy thing that no one is. It's not written anywhere, but you do it. It's just one of those things. So you guys should have your rations back.
And Borvo would pipe up. Yes, I believe I've had more than enough time to rest in the saddle. It's time to test the metal.
And he smiles and just stands and kind of puts his hands together and says, when you complete this and return, you will be welcomed like heroes. And he kind of just gestures his hands like, if there's nothing else, off you go, kind of thing. And so if anyone would like to sort of say something finally, now is your last opportunity to do so.
And as Borvo makes his way out, he will be whistling to himself.
That same single tune that he's been singing the whole way.
It's a very dirty song.
Yeah, brilliant. So
Skewer will. Oh, sorry.
no, go for it.
Skewer will probably put some dinner rolls in his backpack, and then he will step up and walk off without much of a word.
Awesome. So you guys can head out now, and you know that kind of there's a path into the mountains that you're going to have to inevitably follow. It's about 5 p.m. ish, so it's kind of getting towards evening. So you could probably walk for a few hours, but eventually you probably want to stop and make camp. And so you start, and it's a fairly gradual climb past the thing, past the out of the city and round. You eventually get to some farmlands where there is a man who kind of comes up to you on your horses and sort of grabs the reins of one of the horses, whoever would be in front, and says, I can show you. And he, you can instantly tell that this man is fairly insane. And he just keeps saying, like, looking at you, his hair's, random and tufts, and he says, I can show you the giant. He's this way, and starts kind of dragging you or trying to pull the horse towards his house, which is just a glorified hut. It's kind of a hut that's been styled in the way that the buildings have been styled in the nearby area. And you'd probably be dragging Colden's horse.
Can I do a quick insight to see if, just because I don't really trust crazy guys that walk up and start trying to pull us somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
24.
You know that this guy is pretty much just insane. You can see on his neck that there's kind of these black veins that are starting to go up here, which is just the signs that there's a disease in Svalheim which is fairly common, or it's not uncommon, I guess would be the best way to say it. But and it just essentially eats it away at the person's brain until they eventually die, and it's very unpleasant. But he's obviously in the early stage of it, and so he's still mostly coherent. But he's trying to sort of pull you towards him.
Yeah,
is it really contagious?
It's not contagious.
That was my next question. But as soon as he goes to reach for Calden's horse, Calden will steer the horse away from his hand. With the simple word, don't.
And he would kind of hesitate and then step back and hold up his hands, smiling, kind of, I meant no offense. I just wanted to show you where your quarry is. And you kind of are immediately off-put that it's like, how does he know? But then, it's very clear that you're members of the Isbrand, and everyone knows of the giant, and they must have kind of put two and two together.
Well, lad, if you want to show us a giant, lead on.
And he says, yes, and we'll just basically start walking, kind of basically following the path that you've just been on, essentially. And you would be kind of led around the corner, and he would just essentially be walking up in front of you this whole way, and then you would get to a fork in the road, and he would say, you take this road, and then he would just turn around and walk away.
Well, that guy was weird.
Which you said he came to a fork in the road. Which way did he point, left or right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I trust that man's directions. He seems off.
It would be a shame if it took us an extra day to find the giant. But I don't know why he would know where the giant is. Would the giant not just eat his head, crush him?
As far as I know, they do not like to eat humans, but who knows?
That is good. I like that already. I feel better about it. But I am ready to go, and Borvo would lead his horse up. He'd quiet down and ride beside Calden.
Awesome. So would you guys be following the? Would you guys be following where he said to go, or would you be going a separate way?
Looking at both roads, can I see any tracks leading up either road?
Borvo does have expertise in that too, so he might take a note and also aid him.
So why don't you go make survival advantage, because Borvo is helping you, I'm assuming.
Oh crap! 15.
You can see that both look fairly similar. It snows a lot recent here, and there's all these pine trees covered in snow. You can see that the about halfway up and higher, some of the palm trees on the side that he pointed to, the right-hand side, are snapped. But there's only a few. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look like anything's moved here recently, but it is now currently snowing. And yeah, so basically the only tracks you would see would be those how should I say it? The
that
bent
we're
trees.
starting to make ourselves.
So there's obvious signs something big has come through.
Yeah, but not for a while. If you look back around, you see that the man has gone very quickly.
Still do not trust him, but I assume that if it looks like something big went through, then we're probably on the right track.
I agree.
Awesome. So unless anyone has any qualms with it, you guys take the right-hand track, and as you guys are kind of going along, it gets pretty late, and you guys would probably want to bed down. Make sure you can have somewhere to sleep. And be rested for the next day.
So Borvo would start keeping an eye out for appropriate shelter.
Yeah.
And as I said, he's got double proficiency from expertise. So
Yeah.
would you like me to roll that?
You know what? It's all right. Don't bother, because as you come up, there's a little track up to the left, and you can see that up there is a cave. And it's not a very deep cave. You can see all the way into the back, and it looks kind of it looks nice, sort of warm, sheltered, and reasonably well hidden. It looks like it would be a fairly good place to bed down.
Borvo on approach would say, look, possible shelter. And he would, when within 30 feet of it, he would dismount and begin his approach, and waiting to see what his traveler friends would do.
Calden would have
Sure
probably slept off. Sorry, Joe. Calden would have probably slept off at this point, handing his horse to someone to go and just get some wild game.
Skewer will probably dismount, Probably pick up a decent sized rock, something that's like takes up his whole hand, and cast light on it, and just toss it into the cave just for one quick glance in
Yep.
there to make sure,
You
and
throw it.
then
You
go
throw it
ahead.
in, and not even that hard a throw, and it hits the back. This thing's only about 30, 40 feet deep. It's not very deep at all, and you can kind of look around inside. There's nothing inside. There's a couple of broken and blackened sticks that could have been fire weeks, months, years ago. But yeah, there's not really much around.
All right, then Skewer will start setting up his bedroll and get everything ready. Just gotta get
Awesome.
Yeah,
gotta get prepared.
Borvo will get the horses all tied up like at the mouth of the cave. They'll sort of be like a windbreak, and also get a little shelter too, I guess. But
Good idea. Great. And yeah, Calden, why don't you just make me a survival check to see how your hunting goes? You get the impression that there seems to be less game around here than normal. Mayhaps they've been spooked.
Perhaps they have been.
Hintity hint hint.
23.
Yeah, you see a very tentative young deer, kind of poking its head out, sort of around some trees, very, very watchful, but he doesn't see you, and you very easily collect your dinner, and you can hike back now, or whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, go back to my companions.
So you guys kind of, would you be setting up a fire?
that would have been something after the horses. I'd probably lean towards firewood.
Awesome. So you guys would be bringing, or you guys would be setting up a fire, and you would see him come back with a deer. You've always it's always struck you, how quickly Calden is able to return every single time he goes out with, a bountiful crop, and he brings back this deer, and you guys can, and he's starts skinning or whatever, and you can prepare it and eat. Would you be burning some incense?
Oh, I think so. Once we all got there, Borvo would be happy to use his stoke the fire once everybody got within.
Great.
He'd make a big deal out of it. He'd start singing about swimming with bow-legged women.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you would know that, this would this incense would be very strong smelling, but it wouldn't affect the food. You would know, in the mead hall they burn every fire with this incense, and it smells just like home to you now. It's this sort of kind of woody, kind of cinnamony, spicy smell, but it's kind of the smell has sort of become something that you've associated with home, just because you'd be out 12 hours a day in the snow, beating down each other and battering and training, and coming home and all you would smell would be this, and you'd be able to eat and rest, and it's just this really homely feeling. But the evening passes uneventfully. You guys all eat and are able to feast yourselves, and bed down for the night.
Okay.
Would anyone be doing things like taking watch?
Borvo would want to take a watch. He'll start off by saying, this very well could be the giant's home. And we could be well in its territory, and giants aside, we are not fools. We are men of arms. And I would happily take any watch given to me.
Calden would be quite happy to. You would notice that he's sitting a little bit further back from the fire than his friends, but he's quite happy to sit further out in the mouth of the cave.
Skewer will also take a watch and start work on using the herbalism kit to make a potion, but it takes like 10 days, so he'll
Sure.
just do it in the downtime. Other than that, he probably would have done started doing a prayer over the food, talking about Sigrid and telling the story of Rogvir, which they've probably all heard a million times.
Yeah. But it seems kind of surprisingly pertinent.
So Borvo will take first watch then, I guess. Just
Okay.
throw it there.
So we'll just say it's Borvo. I'll just say it for speed. I'm assuming everyone's taking a watch, so we'll say Borvo, Calden, Skewer, Isleaf. And you guys would kind of be doing it in that order. And you bed down for the evening. It's a really, really cold night. You guys haven't spent, you did your, camping, learning how to survive out in the wild, training quite a while ago, and so since then you haven't really spent that much time, out in caves and in the woods at night, and it's very cold. But you huddle close to the fire, and you guys are all fine. You're hardy folk of the place. And Borvo, your watch passes uneventfully. Colden, your watch passes uneventfully. I don't know if you guys want to say anything as you wake people up, or
Borvo, for most of his watch, he was amidst the horses, feeding them and brushing them and stuff, doing horse crap. And but then, he just woke somebody up for the next one and then went to sleep himself.
Sure. And Skior, on your watch, I would like you to make a perception check, please.
Okay. And I don't get my proficiency, so where's my dice roll? There we go. 17.
All right. You hear someone crying. It sounds like a young, very young, probably 4 or 5 year old girl, just crying very loudly, and it seems to be coming kind of out of the cave and to the right.
I will pick up the shield and hammer and then just kind of slowly peek out. And I will also pick up another rock and cast light on it and kind of hold it out to see. Actually, I'll cast light on the shield.
Great.
And then just kind of aim it outward.
Yeah. Now you see a really, really young girl. She's got very dark hair, and she's just standing there staring at you, just crying her eyes out.
So I guess I will get closer. Probably my guard's down just because it's a little girl. So, and then I'll take a knee and ask her what she's doing this far out.
And so as you kind of take a knee and sort of show yourself to be someone who's not, not a dangerous individual, she would kind of come closer to you and just say, there are things in the woods. Kind of sniveling at this point.
What things?
Dark things. And she just kind of gets closer to you, sort of, and towards you, kind of trying to. She looks like she's trying to back away from the woods.
Okay, I will. I guess I'll try to position her behind me, and just kind of like have the shield up and the hammer ready, and just kind of scan around with it, like kind of using the shield as a flashlight. It's got like a 20-foot radius.
All
So.
Right. Why don't you go ahead and make another perception check?
Uh, 21 this time. I'm actually
All right.
rolling really good today.
You still don't see anything. You're kind of on your guard, and this is a little bit scary and freaky that this little girl's sort of out in the middle of the woods and there's dark things chasing her or whatever. So you kind of see a shadow and you kind of jump, and then you realize it's nothing, and you sort of, but you don't notice anything. And then you feel in your back really, really cold, and then really, really hot. And then it just turns to searing pain. You take 5 points of damage, and you hear her laughing, kind of really high-pitched. And then it just starts to go deeper and deeper. And you kind of feel this pain and turn around, and you see her kind of stand up, and her body's deforming slowly, and her limbs are extending. Her skin is darkening until basically what you see before you is this large kind of blue, red-eyed monster. What it reminds you of is stories that they tell children, that there's dark things in the woods, evil spirits that will come and take you away, and when they describe them, this is what they describe. Do your chores, or the things from the woods will come and take you. This is you get the impression that this is what they're saying.
This is the boogeyman.
Yeah. And I'm assuming, in fact, yeah, we'll go ahead and everyone roll initiative.
Okay.
I'm liking my new dice.
Oh, good.
Oh, God.
If you could just say it out loud, because I can't see the chat and the initiative tracker.
No worries. 13 for Borvo.
Great.
6 for me.
That's cool.
Ugh, that's terrible.
20
Holden?
20 for Calden.
Just
I had
balance
an
it
8.
out when you're low.
What was that? Sorry, Isleaf?
I had an 8.
8. Okay. So you guys can all see on my screen the order that we'll be going in. So Colden will be going first, but you are currently asleep with no reason to be woken. So I am just going to basically skip through everyone until we reach one of the 2 awake people. So that is one of the... that is this thing that's looking at you. And you see it kind of smile, and it's got these horrific pointed teeth.
All I have is a cave on mine.
Yeah. I haven't put anything up yet. I just realised I was about to. And it has this this kind of long, unlike the picture, it has a long, what looks to be a glaive that kind of materializes out of the shadows from its hand. And it just arcs over his head and swings it and just tries to slash you straight down the middle. But that's a natural 1.
Nice.
And so you just see it coming, shield up, and you hear it kind of growl and step closer to you. And it is your turn, Skill.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cantrip Thaumaturgy to it basically can make my voice up to 3 times louder than normal. And I'm going to basically, shout for Sigrid, which, the intention of it is to try and wake them.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to use the War Priest feature from my domain to gain an extra attack action.
Sure.
So, no. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 will not hit, unfortunately.
Even with a +6. I missed.
And it just steps to one side and like knocks your blade or your attack away as if it were nothing, kind of grinning at you. And neatly, that takes us to the top of the round. You are all darted awake by this seemingly out of nowhere, ridiculously loud voice. You're immediately greeted by, in the cave mouth, this strange blue figure battling your friend. Colden, it is your turn.
Okay, Calden scrabbles awake, knowing that Cold Strikey would not be too far from his hand. Upon seeing this thing, Reflex would kick in and he'd pick up his bow, but as doing so, he would hold his other hand, palm up, and he is going to cast a spell, if he can get his spell thing working.
Check off casting a spell.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing history.
It needs to make a dex saving throw.
Very well. 18.
Yeah, that makes it. So you see this this blue ball like a comet just flies straight past it. Then he's going to use his bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark and just take a pot shot at the beast for 26 to hit.
That's going to do it.
What's my add-ons for that? 3, I believe. 8, 9, 11 damage.
11. Okay. And it kind of gets an arrow in its back, and Skewer, you see it kind of hunch forward and look behind it as you see Colden standing there, his bow raised. And it kind of growls, realizing that it's in a sort of bad position, and he's going to kind of take the disengage action and sort of step back defensively, kind of to the left of the cave. Sort of just in the picture, you can see just sort of behind its back, kind of round the corner of the cave, to try and sort of put everyone in front of it. And yeah, that's going to be its turn. So we'll go Borvo.
So Borvo will kick off his winter blanket, and he's been using his swords under a pile of hemp rope as a pillow, and he'll draw them, and he'll will a movement get him up to his cleric friend Skjor?
Easily, yeah. You know that the cave's quite short, and the mouth of the cave is maybe only 15, 20 feet away from you.
So from there, can he see in the light of the shield his opponent or
Yes.
whatever vexed him? And is he within movement still, or?
Yeah, you can get right up to him.
Then yeah, I would throw myself and my blades at him and swing forward with 2 attacks. And one is a crit and one is a 12 plus 6. So 16,
both
17,
will hit.
18.
Both hit.
And they're long swords. So the crit first is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 of slashing damage as he goes high with that one. And the low one is 4 damage as he goes low and just connects with a foot or a knee or something low with the distracting shot. Rolled a 1 on that one, but I got a 3 mod.
Okay.
So,
Great. One thing I didn't mention last time is that it's wearing this cloak, and as you know, as it was backing away from you, you could see the cloak kind of fuse with its skin and sort of blacken, and then the wound that you did to it seems to have stemmed slightly as
All
the
right.
cloak kind of covers it.
And just as a bonus action, he's going to use his the Bardic College inspiration thing. So he just expends one of his die, and he starts swinging his blades around, and in a cinematic fashion, and that raises his AC by whatever the die is. So he has +2 to his armor class, so 17.
Awesome.
So it's 19 for this turn. He's just a whirling dervish. And he's, of course, singing a horribly dirty song while he's doing that.
That is perfect. Isleaf.
Yep, being awoken by this loud, booming voice and looking up, seeing my companions run outside and grabbing my long sword and hand axes and approaching and seeing this creature being illuminated by the light coming from Skewer's shield. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to keep moving, but I'm throwing a hand axe at it first, and I'm going to move up and engage in melee. And the hand axe is definitely going to miss. I rolled a 2. So as the hand axe goes whizzing by this creature, I'm going to move up to it and engage it with my long sword. And that'll be a 15 to hit.
Not quite, I'm afraid.
Okay.
It kind of it leans its glaive towards you, and your blade just slides down the length of it.
And I just kind of look at it going, oh, this may not be good.
Bad luck there. Skewer.
Alright, so I will seems to work if I call out to Sigrid first. So I'm gonna shout Skewer's gonna shout something like I will send you back to the Nightlands, and then he's going to use Sacred Flame, which drops a pillar of fire from the sky. It's a cantrip.
Awesome. Yeah.
So, and I roll +6. 16. Does that hit?
Only just.
All right. So, of course. So I do 2 damage on 2d8.
Awesome. That is awesome. Colden.
Colden is going to move up slightly just so this thing is well within his view and his companions aren't blocking any shot that he may take. But as he does so, he reaches into his sort of jerkin and pulls out the symbol of Vil and gives it a small kiss. And then the next arrow that you see him pull out of his quiver is glowing bright blue, and he's going to cast another spell. It's a ranged spell attack, I believe. You can tell I'm not used to spells, can't you?
Twice in a lifetime.
Yeah. So that's a 20 non-natural.
Yeah.
Cool. And it is... Oh, very nice. Sorry, I do not have enough D4s out for this. $10, 16, 18 points of radiant damage.
Jeez.
And the next person that makes an attack against it also has advantage, as this blue light just envelops it.
That's awesome.
And then he's going to use his second attack for a 18 to hit.
That hits.
Of course, I put my d6 away. 8, 9, 12 piercing damage on that one.
Awesome. So again, you see it kind of breathe in, and its cloak becomes this whirl around it, and it's kind of, the cloak seems to be, you know, moving to the areas which have been struck, and just kind of enveloping them with this like black energy, and it is gonna swing twice with its huge glaive, once at Skewer and one's at Borvo, being the two closest to it. Okay, so against Skior, that is a 26, and against Borvo, that is a 22.
Got me.
Yeah, those are definitely hits.
I apologize in advance. Okay, Skior, you take 15 points of damage, and Borvo, you take 17 points of damage. As
Excellent.
this wicked black blade just cuts across your chest. And Borvo.
So Borvo, as he finishes swinging his blades around in wild fashion, he then brings them around for an attack. Both blades parallel with each other. And is this the first? Does this still have advantage from, or did Skjor take that?
No, I think you get it.
Okay,
Yeah, you would get.
So the first of his two attacks is at advantage, and he needed that. 9 was the high one, so 9, 10, only 15 to hit on that one.
Missed by 1, I'm afraid.
All right, and the second one rolled a 13 plus 6, 16, 17, 18, 19.
I will use the War God's Blessing to add +10 to his first attack.
Sure.
Okay.
Thing.
And
It's a reaction.
I'm also going to use my bonus action this time because of my 2 weapons to do a third one.
Go for it.
And I got 11 there, so 17 on that one.
That'll hit.
Excellent. So that'll be 3d8. And similar to before, it's a high stroke, and they both come in high, and then one comes back low. And so 2 3s and a 4 on the dice, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 19 with mods on all of those.
Great.
All longsword blows. Whoosh, whoosh. And that's Borvo.
Yeah, and this thing's kind of growling and hissing at you. Isleaf.
Yep, seeing that Borvo has moved in close with me on this creature, I'm going to keep my resolve and strike at it twice with my longsword. Good lord, horrible rolls. They're both going to miss, so no use going any further. Both of them are misses. I rolled a 4 and a 2, so I know they're not going to hit.
Bad luck there.
I'll use another of the War God's Blessing. Would a +10 help it on one of them?
That'd be highest would be 14. That'd still miss, wouldn't it, Rob?
Yeah, if it's 14 total.
Yeah, that'd be the highest one,
Okay.
so it'd still miss.
Okay.
All right, I'll
Bad
save
luck
it
there.
then.
Skill.
All right. So I'm going to try one more time with the Sacred Flame, and hopefully that does something this time. Another 16 to hit,
16 will hit.
and 9 damage this time.
Awesome.
I'm rolling really low.
And we're back up to Calder.
Okay, Calder's going to give himself a slap on the face for forgetting his wounded prey die last time. That was a D8 of damage I've missed out on.
Oh, bad luck.
Yeah, I know. I'm a numpty. But he's got to take 2 shots with his bow this time. Oh, crit on 1. I forgot to say I was using sharpshooter, so forget it. But it's a crit anyway. Now, Hunter's Mark doesn't get added to a crit, does it?
And check
Yeah,
the
I think
sneak
if you
attack
re-roll, you rolled all damage dice, but not mods.
dice. Yeah, all
It's the way I think
dice
it
get
goes.
rolled. Yeah, all dice.
Right. So that's 7, 12, 13, 29 damage that'll be then.
What the hell? Alright.
Could have been 39, but I forgot to call the feat.
Yeah, jeez. Okay. And so this thing, again, its cloak whirling around it. And it will. Okay. I need. Let's see. It would be Borvo, Skior, and Colden. Yes. Yeah, I think so. I need you three to make dexterity saving throws, please.
Okay.
No, that's a 9.
I rolled a 10, and that goes to 13.
Okay.
For Borval, that is.
Yes.
Yay, 17.
Okay. So everyone who rolled less than a 13 is going to take. So that was Colden and what did Borva roll? Sorry.
You got 13 exactly.
13. All right. So Colden, you are taking.
I don't like how long it's taken to do the math.
That's a big number.
It's scaring me.
39 points of cold damage as this thing just erupts in freezing, like this just arc of basically it feels like you're in a snowstorm, but that's magically directed at you. So you take 39.
39, you say?
Everyone else takes 18, or the other two take 19 points of damage as you guys kind of managed to avoid the main blast, but still kind of got caught with it a little bit. Borva, good job.
Not fun.
All right. So as as this icy blast washes by, Borvo swinging his swords and crying out into the night, he says, "I've got to be getting me one of those cloaks." And he swings out hard with 2 more attacks. And geez, no, yeah, he's gonna swing out and attack with 1, but that's his bonus action attack.
All right.
And here comes. He rolled a 4. So I'm sure that misses and runs short, but that's all right. It might have been more defensive, because what he's really doing is he's going over to who just got that real bad? Was that Skior who just took the face?
Colden.
I just took it.
Yeah, he'll back up to him, so he'll probably yield attack of opportunity, and he's going to cast a touch spell on Calden after that if he lives through it.
Well, I was going to cast Cure Wounds in the next round, not to meta or anything.
Oh no, this is coming at you.
Trying to save you the attack.
He rolls a 9 on the attack, and he tries to swipe at you with a claw, but you can just very easily kind of with your sword attack sort of knock his hand away, not dealing damage, but it hits it away.
All right, and yeah, as he gets there, he sheaths the sword and then casts that his 4th level slot. So you get to roll 4d8 plus 2.
9, 13, 15. That'll be 17 back then.
And Borvo will also say, "If we get that cloak, we won't need to heal each other anymore," and just laugh to himself.
All right. Isleaf.
Yep, I'll see if I can engage it better and try to get some hits this time. One of them's going to hit, 22 to hit, and it's going to be 6 slashing damage from the longsword. And the second one I missed.
Awesome. Skill.
And last time, correct?
Pardon, sorry?
Calder was the one that got hit really bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
then...
You've just seen him get healed by Borvo.
Yeah, a bunch of light probably came out when I was singing that healing tune, because there was a 4th level blast of healing into him.
and Borvo's voice gets slightly higher.
He goes castrati.
Right. I'm going to cast... I'm going to do the one of the spells that I sent to you, the Ray of Light.
Yep.
And it's going to shoot out this big beam of white, and I'm going to cast it as a 3rd level spell. So, let's see. It makes a dexterity saving throw.
All right. 9.
I think mine is 14, so yay. Let's see. 23 damage. As the big beam of light just comes out and hits him in the chest.
All right. And it kind of takes it, and you can see it starting to falter. Its cloak seems to be... It looks like shadows are kind of dripping off of it and disappearing. Calden.
Colin is gonna just give Borvo a small nod without taking his eyes off the beast and draw out another of this pure brilliant light arrow and fire it at the creature. Oh, nice. 24 to hit.
That's going to hit.
I'm casting it at a higher slot this time, so that's 3 sixes. 12, 18, 20, 24 damage of variety.
All right. Why don't you go and describe how this thing does?
As the arrow flies from the bowstring, you see that it actually splits into 2 arrows that weave around about one another before becoming one arrow again as it slams straight into this thing's chest and just opens up this gaping hole.
And you see it kind of stumble back and just fall backwards. It falls on its back and kind of melts away. Its cloak, this kind of shadow energy that was on it, disappears, but the cloak remains.
Well, well, well. And Borvo sheathes his swords as he approaches the cloak.
Why don't all of you guys go make history or religion checks?
Borvo got a 5. He was going history.
24 for either.
All right. You would know that this is something that is known to kind of haunt the forests and the mountains. It's an Oni, which is like a kind of a dark spirit. They make their homes on the dark realms, and they're just kind of out to trick people into following them, and then they kill them and eat them, or so the tales go. But they're used as the kind of boogeyman as well by parents, etc. Are
they related to giants?
They are.
I know in some versions they are, but
yeah, they are in so much as they have the same kind of, gruff, almost, I would say, kind of caveman-like facial expression or faces. They look orcish, and orcs giants are basically mini giants. So yeah, these guys are vaguely related to giants, distantly.
Okay. Skewer will spit on the ground and just kind of say something about this place being foul.
And
Awesome.
Borvo will back up the spit. He'll spit right beside it and say, "Yes, yes. Damn these Oni," but and he'll take the cloak and dust it off.
All right.
Take a good look at it.
Yeah, it's just this black cloak, and
He'll just throw it over his shoulder for now.
it doesn't look like a cloak that is like black wool. It looks like it's actually black and is sucking in light. No matter how you hold it towards the light, it still remains this kind of matte black. Yeah, but you guys can go to sleep again if you wish, and you'll get a long rest. Nothing else happens till morning. You're able to identify the cloak. It's, as you could probably guess in a fight, a healing cloak. It will heal you. Every turn you can use a bonus action up to 3 times during combat to heal yourself for 5 points of health.
Cool.
Yeah, and with that, we can push on. Does anyone need to take a bar break?
Give me just a minute. I gotta check
Yeah.
on my son and my dog. One quick thing: does a long rest it heals like you roll your hit dice to see how much you heal, correct?
No, not with a long rest. With a long rest, you go to full health and you
Okay.
regain all your hit dice.
All right. I
And
should
yeah.
be back in like 5 minutes.
Sure thing.
Cool. I'll be back in less than that. But 5 minutes,
Yep,
no
I'll be
problem
back.
to me. Cool. See you in a minute.
Go and grab a drink.
All right.
These new pink dice seem to be working for me.
Do they? I've
Yeah,
ordered pink dice, and I guarantee you I'll get them tomorrow. Which is
was that the ones you were talking about? Oh, these were the ones that came in the set I bought, the pound of dice. And mind I said I got the full set that I've never used.
Is it the Chessex rounded dice thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been very tempted to get one of those. I was like, well, you know, because I really want one, but I just see myself, you know, having dice all over my room. I am gonna get a big dice chest soon, and then I'll get one.
It's handy to have, especially when you get a higher level and you go, how many D4s forgot to roll?
Or if you have friends come over and they, you know, forget their dice, so they come straight from work or something like that.
I had a game where I was running it, and the party was being swarmed by spiders that were webbing them, and for like an hour and a half of travel, but role played out, they kept being told no lights or else it'll attract spiders. And of course, there's a cleric of light, and he casts his at the first sign of a spider, he casts his like channel ability, which is like summoning a sun, but everywhere. And then he called so many more spiders, I had to just unleash them all. But he did it again, and then I had to roll like saves for like 30 spiders, and I was like, I need more dice.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Ah, no problem. Everyone went and got a drink, I think.
Yep.
Awesome.
This flu is still hanging on.
Great. So you guys can go ahead and finish up if you haven't already done so. Take a long rest. But yeah, morning comes around and you guys are all fine and dandy after your crazy midnight adventure.
It's not so bad finding this dark cloak. I did not have a coat for riding in the saddle, actually. It's just my furs. And he dusts off this evil black cloak that he's wearing now.
Yeah, and you feel kind of...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you feel kind of strangely invigorated by it.
Excellent. And so, yeah, Borvo would be breathing in deeply, puffing out his chest as he ties on his weapon belt, and he's saddled up his horse, and he's more or less ready for the day. And for the rest of the morning, in between eating the game that Calden found last night, he's going to be flinging his swords around and being all Highlandery in the morning light.
Awesome.
Skior is going to be kind of solemn. He feels kind of foolish after last night. And he also kind of got his butt kicked a little. I got down to 11 hit points, so he's a little down. He feels like he should have done much better.
Kind of cold hurts. Yeah. Okay. And with that, yeah. So you guys can move on. Yeah. And you essentially keep following the path. But the path kind of kind of stops being a path eventually, and it looks like a very kind of scrambly sheer climb. So we're going to do a skill challenge. I would like each of you to pick a skill. I'm sure most of you know how skill challenges work. Pick a skill, say what you're going to do to that for that skill to try and let you get up the get up this sort of scrabbly, difficult rock.
Will it be with our horses, like trying to get them up too?
You can try and get your horses up, or you can choose not to. It's up to you. But we'll go in, for simplicity's sake, the order of the last initiative. So that's Calden.
Okay, Calvin's going to dismount and leave his horse behind. He probably would tie it to a tree, leaving, there's presumably snow for it to. I don't think it's actually quite good for an animal, but still, it's only a horse, so he doesn't care. He can always get another. But he will leave it some food, whatever he's got in his pack. He's going to use perception to basically find the best way to navigate, avoiding any black ice or any potential rock falls.
Awesome.
And that's a 21.
Yep, that's good. So that is one success, and we'll go Borvo.
All right. So I think Borvo will do a similar thing with his horse. He'll use his rope to, and he's not going to tie it too tight, so that it'll probably just go slack and let the horses go. Should Borvo die in the next few hours, but it'll give them their reins around it so they can go a little ways and get some grass or whatever. But be like between two trees, so he's using all his rope and leaving it behind. But as for the trail, what he'll do, possibly, I was thinking maybe like survival check, and what he's doing is like even going so far as to run up the initial parts of it, but he's looking for like a game trail that might give hints to like just the proper route.
That's really great. Go
right.
ahead and do that.
So he's got, that's one of the skills he took expertise in, but I only got a 5, so I got 11 altogether on it.
Unfortunately, you see no game trails, and you end up kind of halfway up your creek without paddle.
So he'll scratch his head and mumble a few notes as he's thinking over what to do now.
All right. We'll go Isleaf.
Yep, I would follow the cue of the ranger, seeing him tie the horse up. I would tie my horse up in some same fashion, and looking up this outcropping. Is it all rocks, or is there any like jutting trees or anything? Is it mainly
there's a couple of trees, kind of at the awkward angle as they are growing on a mountain. So yeah, there's a couple of trees.
Okay, he's going to look at this and seeing the bard is struggling, having a hard time getting up. He's going to think, I guess it's best to use my strength, and I'm going to use my athletics. And what I'm going to do is take off my rope and make a knot, and I'm going to swing and hit it and maybe catch some outcroppings that are a little bit taller than other ones, and hopefully the rope gets around it, and I'm going to pull myself up to that part, and then I'm going to take a breather and continue throwing that rope up and catching some of the bigger rocks and pulling myself up is what I want to do.
Awesome.
And athletics will be, oh Lord, 12. He might be plus 6. Huh.
Not quite, I'm afraid. That's 2 failures. Skjor.
Alright. It's a serious game, so I will avoid trying to figure out how religion can be used. I know insight's reserved for creatures, but would it be able to, like, could I use insight to just basically kind of I'm looking at the mountain and I think, I think there might be a better path, around the side, and just kind of ride the horse around that way.
Yeah, you could use insight to kind of think what would I do if I was a goat. So yeah, go for it. And while you're rolling that, on the subject of bogus or attempting to do silly rolls in a skill challenge, I tried to do one the other day where we were in a really sandy place, and I tried to. I was like, this is a long shot because I had nothing, but I attempted to use, what was it, sleight of hand to throw sand in a way that would let me see which way the wind was blowing or something, and it was the stupidest skill challenge, and the DM was like, no. Which was fair enough. What did you get on that one?
26 with a natural 20.
Jeez. All right. Two successes and two failures.
All right, so Borvo, can you take another swing?
It's actually back up to Calvin first.
Excellent, cool. Because Borvo didn't have much, but he's got something in his pocket here.
As Calvin walks up, he sees a potential disaster ahead. He's been out in the wilds enough. He knows what this kind of looks like. He knows that there's a potential of any kind of movement below would send the rocks above down. So if the DM is willing and merciful, he'd like to use thaumaturgy to cause a slight tremor on the ground to just bring the rocks down safely before they pass.
All right. So you can do that. What skill are you gonna associate to that with that to roll on?
Oh, you're still gonna force me to pick a skill?
Yeah.
It's bogus, man. How about nature?
All right. You can have advantage on that.
Just because it ties in.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's a 10.
That is a third failure.
Tell you what, can I borrow an inspiration on that?
You can.
I was definitely going to use it in mine if we got to it, but 3 is 3. Like.
I'm glad I did. That's a non-natural 20.
Yeah. You guys are able to pass on, and you make it through this kind of craggy, sort of difficult to pass area. And as you get to the top, kind of, that was a tough climb. You guys are greeted by two figures that are standing there. Both are wielding long swords, and they are holding them in a kind of defensive guard position, both staring at the floor and unmoving.
Do they look human, or are they cloaked?
No, you can see that these guys look like Dragonborn, which are almost never seen they're almost never seen in Svalheim.
Borvo will...
Did they?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, no. You go ahead.
Okay, Borvo, he's going to draw his blade, but not like swinging out to attack. He's going to hold it high and say, "Hail, dragon folk, we are men of these lands. I am Borvo."
I'm going to roll history to think, basically to kind of get the impression of how relations between humans and Dragonborn have been in the past.
Sure thing.
13 total.
Okay, so these guys, you can see that kind of at first glance you're like, oh, they're Dragonborn. They come from the south, and they're traders. They're not, unwelcome. They're kind of, but they're not, very abundant. Only a few come. There is a Dragonborn in the Isbrand. He's a bearer, and he is like the only kind of well-known Dragonborn in Svalheim. But everyone, could you please make me nature, religion, or history checks?
I only got a 4 on it. But I went out of my way to say dragon folk.
Yeah,
as if you didn't know. Like he was like...
I will get to that in a moment.
Oh my god.
20 for religion or history. I don't have nature, so I didn't even bother with it.
Sure thing. So you would know.
I like these knowledge checks.
Yeah, good. These, you would know that these aren't actually Dragonborn. They are half-dragons, which are similar to Dragonborn in many ways, but they are, if Dragonborn are the more human side, these guys are the more dragon side. You know, like
What color are they?
one is red and one is gold.
Oh.
And they are standing there, and as Borvo hails them, they both kind of look up and will kind of bring their blades into a more sort of defensive position. And the gold one will open his mouth and say, "Be gone, travelers. This is no place for you."
And Borvo will let his blade now rest on his shoulder, rather casually. He'll look back to his the people traveling with him. He'll say, "But we are setting footfalls to hunt the giant. Do you know anything of a giant in these parts?"
Bran is our master. We will defend him. If you wish to get to him, you must first pass through us. And I tell you this for the final time with civility. We will not stop until you are dead if you make an attempt on our master's life. And you would also know, Skill, that half-dragons are not native to this world. They come from the Night Realms, basically always serving the fire giants and giant kind.
Okay, so there's definitely no way we're gonna get along. Yeah, I'm gonna pull the warhammer out and Skewer's gonna say, "Steel yourselves. There's no peace to be found here."
And they will nod at you.
The second blade comes out.
And they will nod at you before flinging themselves towards you. And if you could please all roll.
2.
Have you got the chat up, Rob, or it's just to say it out again?
Yeah, saying out loud is easier for me.
Alright, 10 for myself.
And for Colden,
10 as well.
there's Skill.
Yes.
And Borvo got a 2.
Yep.
Isleaf?
I had a 2 also. My modifier is +1.
Solid. A lot going on in that round.
Yeah. These guys are very fast, and they both whip towards you. One towards Borvo, one towards Skewer, swinging very fast with their longswords. And that is going to be a 19 and a 13 against Borvo, and a 22 and a 10 against Skewer. So Borvo, 13 and 17.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, the one hit true.
Sure.
17 for my armor class, so yeah.
Awesome. So that will be 6 points of damage.
Excellent. Thank you.
And Skill?
Hit and miss. I have 18 for my AC.
And that will be 10 points of damage. Borvo is not next because he rolled a 2 and it hasn't changed. There we go. Colvin.
Colden is grasping Kalstricker, and this is where Robin reports back that I cannot pronounce Norwegian. He's going to take a step back the way, but as he does so, he flicks his hand and a piece of metal that looks like a stylized snowflake goes towards the nearest one and lands on the ground, and then he's going to take 2 shots.
Sure thing.
Basically, it was a bonus action to cast Hail of Thorns.
That was a very coolly skinned Hail of Thorns. So, you know, it was cool.
One of these is a sharpshoot, by the way. So the first one,
Sure.
Okay, Math, you've done it again. 15.
Not going to hit, I'm afraid.
Okay, second one is it's -5 for that. Oh, crap, that's a 15 as well.
Bad luck.
Yep.
These guys are wearing very hefty, tough-looking armor, and your arrows just glance off the angles. Skewer.
Okay, so I'm going to use. Oh, 1 second, sorry.
I wish I still had that inspiration left.
Yeah. By the way, Chex, you cheeky bastard, I didn't realize you were being in service to a god as well. And I like that you went on the thing and found one of them. So, well done.
Sorry about that. My son ran out here and started asking me to do something. And he's 4, so he has no patience. So, Skewer will cast Bless on the other 3, which gives everybody, basically at any point that you wish, you get to add 1d4 to any roll of any type. It's pretty much just like within the next, I think it's...
I think it's like 10 rounds or so.
Yeah, I think it's a minute.
Up to a minute, yeah, up to a minute.
Yeah.
And I target all 3, and then, yeah, you can roll a d4 and add that to any attack or saving throw roll whenever you choose, but you only get once. And then I will use the War Priest bonus action to make an attack against the one that hit Skewer.
Which was the gold one, just by the way.
23.
That will hit.
All right. D8. Whoa. Oh. Sorry, I was rolling way too many D8. 6 damage.
All right. I'll just... Okay. Borvo. You're muted again now.
So do they each have long swords? 2 long swords each?
They have
Is that what I was just hit with?
one longsword each.
Cool. And are they both wearing armor?
Yes.
Could I, I'd like to use my action to cast some heat metal on the guy who just attacked me on his armor.
Right.
And I don't think it'll hurt him until the next turn. Oh no, it does take 2d8 when I cast a spell.
Alright.
So that's 9 fire damage, and that's my action. And
Okay.
I will bonus attack with my, because I got 2 weapons.
As you do that, you hear him kind of... that's correct. You don't hear them, or you hear him kind of the sort of growl as it armor burns, but you get the impression that them being red and gold, it doesn't do as much as...
Oh yeah. Cool.
And the attack?
And I only got a 3 on that, so it's +6, so like 9 altogether. And he'll just be standing there as he's finishing singing the tune that cast that spell of heating the metal, and he'll try to keep that going for the next few rounds of combat.
Awesome.
That's Borvo for this turn.
Isleaf.
Isleaf is going to move into the Golden Dragonborn. It spoke to him and 2 longsword attacks against him. I'm going to use that bless deal on one of them, so we're going to have a 21 and a, let's see, 19 to hit.
Yep, that hits. Both of them.
Let's see, it will be 4, 6, 12 damage total out of both attacks.
To
12
the
slashing.
gold one?
Yes, sir, to the gold one.
Great. All right.
And I'll
And-
stay engaged with him, no movement.
Awesome. And one of the gold one will step to one side so that pretty much everyone's in front of it. And as you can probably guess by this point, he will open his mouth and unleash a powerful flame. Dex checks, please. Or it saves even. You all have bless, remember?
16 total.
17 for Borvo.
7.
Yeah, Bless isn't going to get me out of that mess.
Alright, Colden's having a bad day. Alright, so everyone who got a 14 or lower, you take 27 points of fire damage. Everyone who got above that takes 13. And then the other one is going to come. So that was the gold one. The red one is going to come in and swing for Borvo again.
So that would be disadvantage because of the heat metal spell. But if you want to do something because he's red, whatever. Like, that's cool.
No, that's fine. Disadvantage because he rolled a 2 and an 18 there. So it's a 7 on that one, and another 7. So he kind of goes to hit, and the fire, he has to kind of jump back, and his armor sort of is burning him, and he's just having a bad day. Golden.
I like the fact that you said that he jumped back there. Are any of my allies within about 5 feet of them?
Yes.
Bugger. Because I've just noticed that in the Hail of Thorns spell. That each creature within 5 feet must make a dex saving throw.
Yeah, no, he's still within 5 feet, unfortunately.
Oh, I don't want to hurt my allies though. No, I can't do it. Fire off one of my blinding light arrows against the golden one, which I presume is the one I'm closest to. Crap, 15.
Not going to hit, unfortunately.
No. And then just try and, bonus action, the hunter's mark, and then try and normally shoot him. Finally, 23.
That's going to hit.
Is he taking damage already?
He has.
He has, yeah.
Colossus Slayer.
13 points of damage.
Alright.
Piercing.
And you see it kind of growl and hiss at you and sort of maybe start to look like it's going to step back and rethink its strategy. And let's go to Skewer.
Borvo was the one that took the brunt of the damage, correct?
I believe so.
Borvo's a little weathered, but he's looking okay.
Okay. Well, I will, as a 3rd level spell, cast Healing Word, which is a bonus action spell, and let's see. For healing 17 damage.
Alright.
And then I will attack
Is
with
that
the
on
Warhammer
yourself
again.
or on Borvo? Sorry.
On Borvo.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
because you took a face full of fire. So, and I rolled a 7 total. So I'm assuming I'm not hitting.
No, not quite. These guys have a lot of armor. Borvo.
So Borvo sees his opportunity. He's pretty much engaged with 2 of these dragon men, and he's going to, if he lives through this day, he's going to be known for fighting 2 dragon men at once. So he's going to put 1 attack on the gold and 1 on the red.
Awesome.
And so 12 on the first one,
Bad luck.
going on the yellow one, or the gold one, sorry. And a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 20 modified on the second one, going
That's
on the
gonna
red
hit.
guy. And he rolled an 8, so 9, 10, 11 slashing damage as he gives him a long drawing cast blow. And
Awesome.
then he's going to use his bonus action to rekindle the heat of the metal, and it'll be, a few notes whistling in the air. And there's 1 shy of max with 15 fire damage, but of course, probably doesn't hurt that bad.
Still good though, still good. Okay.
And that's Borvo for this turn.
Great. Isleaf.
Yep, I'm gonna continue to take it to the gold dragon. Oh wow, a 1 and a 3.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna use my inspiration and re-roll one of them. I
Go
guess.
for it.
20 modified 20,
Go for it. That hits.
and that'll be 2, 5 slashing.
Awesome. Yeah, these.
I forgot
I was
I forgot to
considering.
roll concentration for my spell, but I got an 18 on the die, so sorry.
No, that's all right. So the gold one's looking haggard, and kind of as if since he did the fire breath, the sort of he looks like he's feeling a bit kind of rough, and from all this damage he's taken. And the other one is going to take a few paces back. Borvo, the red one, this is Borvo. You will get an opportunity attack.
All right, so I rolled a 12 plus 6, 18.
Yep.
And I got 7, 8, 9, 10 slashing damage as he strikes out at this guy, tries to run him through.
All right, and it kind of cuts him, and he steps back, and you see him all kind of hold his weapons down and start taking a deep breath, and kind of looks like he's sucking in air before releasing another torrent of fire. Well, it's his first one, but again, I'm going to need dex saves from everyone, including his
Borbo
friend,
got a
though.
4. Or no, 5, 6. He got 7, so he still failed.
Not 20.
Oh, finally.
17.
All right. Everyone who got below a
19.
everyone who got below a 15, which I believe is only Borvo, you take 21 points of damage, fire damage. Everyone else takes 10, including his friend, who did manage to step out of the way. Speaking of his friend, Isleaf, he will pull out a short sword and try and whip it across you, and then bring his long sword down with the other hand for a 17 and a 20.
The 20 will hit.
8 points of damage. Calder.
Borvo, I think you've taken the worst of the flame breath. How are you looking?
Just over half, and he did just pass his concentration for that damage as well. Because he should
Awesome.
still have advantage from the herbs, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, he's looking like he's half cooked.
If he was a steak, you'd flip him.
I think at that point the steak would be well done after 2 flame breaths.
Yeah.
But Borvo would feel this cold air straight after the flame breath hit him. And, oh, that's bad. You'd be healed for 7 points of damage. As a bonus action from myself.
Awesome.
I hope to do better than that, but... And then Colin's going to take another arrow of light and fire it. Nice. 18 on the die. So that's 24.
Awesome. That will hit.
10, 11. That's 11 points of radiant damage.
Is this to the red one or the gold one?
Good question. The one that was nearest would have been the gold one, I believe.
Yeah, the red one's step back. Awesome. Okay.
But he's going to use his second attack, and he's going to take the sharpshooter on it again. For a 21.
Yep.
Sweet.
Is this on the gold one as well?
Gold one as well, yes. So that's 7, 11. It's a plus 10 for the sharpshooter, I believe.
Yeah, plus 10.
21, 24 points of damage on that.
Why don't you describe how you yet again get the killing blow?
As he's rocked back as the arrow that you've already seen take the Omni earlier on, rocks him back. The second arrow just takes him right through the eye, and he drops, giving me clear line of sight to his companion, who's also marked for death now.
And his companion will hiss and speak some words in Draconic that, if any of you speak, are scathing.
I do understand Draconic.
He says a name. He says Corlan, which is, you presume, the name of the gold dragon, before he just goes into a kind of whirl of insults and throws himself towards you guys again. But before that, it is Skjor.
All right. Well, if he's gonna come at us, I'm going to use Sacred Flame.
Daddy.
Oh, sorry. 1 second.
Daddy.
No problem.
So what are some of these swear words that he's throwing at us, Rob?
All right. So it's way swearing in Norwegian is way cooler than it is in English, because in English we just use words for things like sex or poo, or poop if you're American, I guess. But in Norwegian there is fein, which is devil, which is, they use that like the F word. There is helvete, which is hell, and they use it kind of, I guess, like we would use shit, just like shit. There is
They're also a pretty good black metal band.
I imagine so. There is a phrase. So if we would say like, "Oh, for fuck's sake" or something, they would say "I svarte helvete," which means "in the blackest hell," which is way cooler, in my opinion. And then apparently, the further north you go in Norway, people swear a lot more. So in the south, people don't really swear, but if you go north, people swear every other word, saying things like "hestkuk," which is horse cock, yeah, or "rasshole."
I read that book.
Asshole. There's "cook," which is cock, "fitte," which is pussy, and that's all the ones I wrote down. But there's like a whole like a whole host more that I need to write down.
So Robbie's giving you his whole Profanosaurus.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Skewer, I think we were on.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. He's supposed to be taking his nap, but he refuses to. So, Sacred Flame. And that is 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 12 damage. And then gonna use another bonus attack. 24 to hit. Damn, one short of a
That hits.
crit. Alright. For 5 damage.
All right. And then we'll go to Borvo.
And Borvo will square off with the remaining Dragon Man, and he's going to swing out with both of his blades. And wow, he got a 2 and a 5, so he's going to keep that blessing. And he's just going to use his bonus action to rekindle the notes necessary to keep the heated armor going. And 7 plus 5, so 12 fire damage.
All right.
And yeah, so yeah, that's his turn.
It's starting to sort of choke now as it's struggling to breathe with the fire, and it sort of drops to one knee as Isleaf takes his turn.
Yep, I'm going to move up next to Borvo and engage with my longsword. Let's see, one of them's going to hit, so that's going to be like a 24 to hit. So
Yep.
And minimal damage, four slashing.
Why don't you go and describe how you kill it?
Wow.
It had 4 health.
Yeah, as it goes down to one knee, I'm already approaching it, and moving into it and not even stopping. So I've just already got my long sword up, and I just slash right into it. And when it starts going down, I adjust my sword downward and catch it into the neck and slice it right down through its neck, into its clavicle, and through its shoulder.
That's
and
awesome.
Borvo will release the heat metal spell and finish singing its components. And he'll walk up and put his foot on the chest of the freshly slain red dragon man, and he'll say, "Did you see that? I fought both of them at the same time."
What a song that will be.
Indeed, indeed. And he's walking around. He's just drunk on himself right now.
All right. So you
And I'm
guys can...
going to use bonus action second wind to regain some HP just for your information.
Sure thing.
Okay.
And you guys are free to take a rest if you need to, or continue on, or do whatever.
The rest would be advantageous at this point, I think.
Yeah. Indeed, the rest would serve us well.
I'm gonna use a second level spell, Prayer of Healing. Yeah. And I can pick up to 6 creatures, so I pick everybody.
Cool.
Let's see.
And I'm also going to be singing a little tune too, so as long as you're resting, you'll get another d6 hit points, everybody as well.
So 16 from mine.
Oh,
And
cool.
it takes 10 minutes to do the prayer, so...
And is anyone burning their incense? You think, or you get the impression yours will probably last another couple of hours.
I think Borvo used only had 1 charge, I think, and he burnt it out.
Yeah, you only get 1.
Yeah, I'd probably use the incense at this point.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll do it after the prayer. And I will also Yeah, we don't have time to bury them, but I will say something nice over their corpses, as they were rather rather honorable for creatures of the darkness.
Yeah.
I will tell
All
them
right.
that they were worthy foes, and I will see them again in the afterlife.
That's great.
Meanwhile, Colton's lighting the incense off one of the burning trees behind the party.
All right.
Why start a fire when there's one already there?
Yeah. So, all right. So you guys are able to head on, and on the way, you kind of get the impression that you're maybe being watched. Calden, you would notice this first. You're kind of, you feel, eyes in the back of your head, kind of thing. And you can all make perception checks if you want to have a look around.
Corvo got a 9 with his mods.
What kind of terrain is it we're in at the moment?
It's kind of foresty. It's a pine forest, but you're kind of moving up the mountains. So mountains and pine forest essentially.
Okay, so nothing that helps me. 25.
All right. You guys. Colden, you would definitely notice this. Other people would notice it as Colden kind of pointed it out. You see what appears to be a very old woman, and she's dressed in a cloak that's a kind of very deep forest green, and she's carrying a staff, and she looks like she's covered in moss and sticks and stuff. You can all make history or religion checks if you'd like.
7.
All right.
Didn't do as good this time. 13.
All right. I mean, you would. Couple of you would know that this is most likely a forest hag. They're kind of. You hear stories of people, getting lost in the mountains or in the forests, and forest hags would kind of show up, following them, and would. They're kind of benevolent spirits. No one knows if they're human or what, but they tend to sort of lead those who are lost or wandering in the forests where they're trying to go.
I don't know. I kind of fell for this last night, so.
I think Calden would probably be the first one to kind of walk up, and he wouldn't really say anything, but he would bow his head in a respectful way.
Yeah, so you would know, being a follower of Vil, that these are, again, these people are said to be, touched by Vil. They're very, very central to the worship of her. They're kind of like sort of druidy people, but followers of her, said to be very, natural and live out in the wilds. And she would, as you kind of bow your head, she would kind of reach out with a gnarled old finger and sort of push your chin up so she could see her face. You would see hers, and it's the face of a kindly old woman. She looks, her skin's sallow and sort of, it looks like it's kind of falling off her face. She's obviously very, very old. But she smiles at you and nods. You would also know, Colden, that they tend not to ever, or you've never ever heard of them speaking.
As she kind of lifts Calden's face up. Calden will probably avoid her gaze in terms of he wouldn't look straight into her eyes, but just to a point, maybe just up and to the right. And then he'll finally break his silence and say, "Greetings, old mother. Tis a night for a walk in the woods, is it not? Perhaps you can assist myself and my companions. We're looking for passage through to the lair of Bran, the one known as Bran, the fire giant."
And she smiles as you greet her, but then, as you mentioned, Bran, her smile vanishes, and you can see kind of anger come over her face. And she grabs your hand, kind of, and her grip is like a vice, you know, really. And she takes your hand and her hand, and kind of, with some kind of sort of dye or paint on her fingers, she'll rub a circle into your hand, and then a kind of line from halfway out of the circle, sort of halfway in the circle to halfway out, essentially.
Yeah.
And you know that's the symbol of Vil, and it's a sort of a sign that she understands that you're a devout follower of her, and she respects you for that. And then she'll just kind of say, like, nod her head, and just release your hand and start walking, you know, very, very slowly, but deliberately, and in the direction that you guys were walking.
I'll motion to my companions to follow, but I'll put a finger over my lips just to say, you know, stay quiet, stay respectful.
And she leads you, and you're probably walking for about an hour, just following her in silence, just through the winding forest, not following any path, just through the middle of the trees. And you eventually, she leads you to a huge kind of sunken hole in the ground. It doesn't look natural. It looks like, you know, made by some awesome force. And she just nods her head there towards it, and then starts walking away. And then, you know, as you look down the hole and then turn to look back at her, she's just gone.
And when when it looks as though she's gone from the peripherals, Borvo will pipe up as he steps towards the hole. He'll draw both blades, and he himself will cast the cantrip light on his O-ring, so that it, in a sense, because it's on his middle finger, it sort of acts like a bullseye lantern. It just shoots out in the one arc. But and he says, "Well, brothers, shall we venture forth into this probable giant lair, or should we try to have it come out here and we maybe trap it somehow?"
Fighting in the giant's lair would be ill-advisable, but Skewer's going to kind of look around and I guess do an insight roll to see if there's anything worth trying to set up an ambush, like anything that could be used against the giant.
Sure thing.
Never mind. I rolled 7 total, and that was with the +6. So.
Okay.
Can I do a survival check to, presumably if the giants here, he's been coming and going, if he's been raiding villages and towns, just to get a general idea of anything really.
Sure thing.
It's an 18.
You see kind of depressions around the hole where he's obviously like put his hands to pull himself up. Broken trees, large footprints, you know, all the signs that some insanely large thing has been active in this area.
And does it look as if he's actually came back and went down then?
Yeah, you see footsteps going both ways of that size.
I'll point out where the depressions on the ridge of this chasm, for lack of a better word,
like
is.
finger marks.
Yeah, I'll point out where they are, and presumably if they're the only ones he's been using that way for some time. And so if we're going to bring him out, we should bring him this way, and maybe put something there.
All right.
I don't know what we could use though.
I'm sorry, Chex. I missed like the last part of your thing. What were you trying to do?
If we could put maybe spikes or something to trap him, to trap his hands as he pulls himself up, it would give us a bit of an advantage. It'll give us surprise at least, and draw first blood.
I could try and shape some I have stone shape as one of my 4th level spells.
That's handy.
Yeah, I was thinking about either using it that or like using it to trap him. One of the two, like somehow trap him or something on that level. But I could set up the spikes as we're trying to get him out here.
Yeah, Borvo's eyes about hearing about some sort of trap, like he's got a survivor's mind or a woodsman's mind to some extent, and he'd set to work looking for the materials to start quickly fashioning, like crudely chopping some spikes to get together. He doesn't have any rope though.
Should have rope.
Alright,
So yeah, maybe he'd start foraging, looking for the appropriate sort of wood to make some skewers or pikes
Alright.
with.
You can make a survival check.
Excellent.
Can I assist him on that?
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
You have an advantage.
The first one will have to do 13, but I do have expertise in it, so that's +6, so 19.
Yeah, you find all the right shaped sticks and stones and everything you could potentially need. You find enough to basically ring the hole in spiked and traps and stuff.
Cool. And yeah, as I'm like harvesting them, I'm using the long sword to try and cut them into already like sharpened edges and stuff, so it's perfect. Now produce a pile of those, stick them all in, all real nice.
Awesome.
And of course, have to break off some extra greenery to obscure the profile of spikes at the top as well.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I'll press to digitize them to be dirt, to look like dirt. So I'll lose my light then too.
Sure.
Because I'm using a different. Yeah.
So stone shape is not as good as I thought it was going to be. Basically, I can shape like a 5-foot cube of stone, which seems kind of useless for a 4th level spell. Like I figured it'd be bigger than 5 feet, but
You can make like a sweet necklace.
yeah. I suppose I can just save my 4th level spell then for something else. I don't even remember what I have prepared. Yeah, but though I don't have a lot of 4th level spells that I like, but I could try to make like a choke point to make it smaller, so he has to be even harder for him to get out.
It's certainly worth a try. Our only obstacle to overcome is how we get him out.
What's it look like down the hole when I was sticking the spikes in? Is it like a drop off or?
As far as you can tell, it goes down quite far. It seems pretty much pitch black. The sides of the wall are all kind of dirt, and then it goes to stone as they go down. You would also know that basically where you are, you're actually fairly near some cliffs. Probably about a mile away are the cliffs, and there's and they kind of lead over. There's an area right next to Fjellmarch, which is this big frozen lake in the mountains. But you would know that you're fairly near there, and so you can tell that the stone is kind of the same stone as the cliffs.
I'm sure we could pull him out with like uses of thaumaturgy, just amplifying our voice or making sounds.
Indeed, it woke me up fast enough. And to good aid.
Yeah, if we could bring him out, and a fallback plan is to lead him towards that lake.
That sounds like a plan. Better than my first thoughts, which was to dive into that cave and drag his head out.
Do you think you could carry a giant's head by yourself?
With the right tune and enough elbow grease, I think so.
So, what are you guys gonna do? You've settled these traps. What would you like to do?
Like I said, my idea to bring him out is just to, I can start basically cursing his name and just saying all kinds of horrible stuff about giant mothers and things like that at the entrance, with and then magnifying it with thaumaturgy. If you guys think that would be a good idea to bring him out.
Before we do that, maybe we should take a short rest, or attempt to, just off to the side, where we can at least keep an eye on the chasm. And it means out of character-wise, that we're back at full health before this thing comes barreling at us. If anybody needs the extra, that is.
That prayer of healing actually
to get...
did me up. But yeah, I don't mind taking watch on a short rest.
They'll get me back my channel divinity stuff, so
cool.
That'll be useful.
All right.
So yeah, Borvo will stand watch. He doesn't need the rest. He's actually full on everything, I think. Except that one spell slot, but that's a level 2 thing.
So you're sitting there. You hear nothing from the cave, and then you see again this forest hag. She just walks out from behind a tree silently, and she just only looking at Colden, kind of turns her head to one side and takes out what look like knuckle bones or some kind of bones and just throws them into the hole, and you hear them kind of clatter on the floor. It doesn't seem too deep, and then she just like gestures towards the hole, like that's the way, kind of thing, and then walks back behind the tree and is gone.
Well, Skier will be in his rest is doing prayer, but he's now thinking that the hag wants us to go inside.
It would appear that way.
Well, I have just a thing for this. And it says, so someone else take care of the lights, and I could make us fall like feathers to the bottom. Might want to tie a rope if you have enough for our way out, though.
I actually broke my own rule and did not bring any rope. I always bring rope. Every character.
I left all of mine with the horses.
Mine was used to make the traps.
Well, maybe we can take it back because we're not really.
Yeah, you could take that back.
Unwind it and also use one of the spikes maybe as a tie-off spot.
All right, I'm gonna start gathering up various rocks that will be used with the light cantrip, kind of to light our way. And then, like, what I'll be doing is, as we're going, I'm gonna light them and then toss them a ways down, and use that so we don't get lost in there.
Sure.
So I get that's cool. Featherfall is only level 1, but yeah, I can target up to 5 friendly creatures. So I sing a light tune, and we can all float down for. We have 1 minute of floaty time, so we can jump off the walls and rappel down with the light.
All right. So you guys are all in this cave, and it's one straight linear cave, and it's kind of all rocky, but then the rockiness, and it's big enough for a giant to walk through. And the kind of looks like natural rock as if it's been excavated, but then it starts to actually look like architecture of some kind. But it's still just a corridor, but it looks like it's been kind of chiseled with runes and such.
Yeah, it's probably pretty dark, but just roughly how far down did we go? Like because it's only 50 feet of rope, how long ago did that stop?
Oh, like probably... It's probably roughly about 50 feet, honestly. It's
okay, cool.
It's not too deep.
Excellent.
But you can start walking kind of along this wet path, and you hear nothing, you see nothing, and it starts to kind of slope downwards, and you see at the end of it some white light ahead. And as you kind of keep walking towards it, you see that it's actually daylight. And then again, you keep walking kind of towards the daylight, and you find yourselves coming out. You find yourselves coming out at the cave, at the lakes. Which
Well, I'm glad we didn't use thaumaturgy. That would have been.
I was just laughing at you like that whole time, as quietly as possible. You guys like, oh, maybe we should do this, and
you're not even halfway there.
I was just laughing at you.
Yeah, you're laughing at us because you don't need to go up against a fire giant.
No, but you come out here at the cliffs next to the frozen lake, and as far as you can see, no giant.
And would we know, is this a freshwater lake?
This is a freshwater lake, yeah. It's kind of famous for being very, very difficult to find.
And Borvo, he's going to go ahead and drink some of the water.
All right, so you have to kind of crack some of the ice around the edge, but yeah, you can, and it is super refreshing.
He splashes his hair with the cold water and shakes it, and yeah, he's fought 2 dragon men, and now he's drank from a mythical lake.
Yeah, literally. All right. Everyone make perception checks, please.
$23.
That's 17 for Borvo.
20.
12.
Colden, you would notice first a red glow under the ice, fairly far out in the middle.
And straight away upon noticing it, Caldon will point to it. Look.
Yeah. You would all, upon him pointing it out, you would all see it. It's this kind of reddish glowing light,
And you would all hear two long swords being pulled from their sheaths. And Borvo will say, do you think maybe we'll talk our way through this?
Hasn't helped so far.
Tales I've heard, the Jotun don't like to talk.
Then I believe these swords will do my speaking.
They had
Alright.
nothing worth saying anyway.
But again, nothing seems to be happening.
Can Calvin kind of walk out over the lake a little bit? You said it was iced up.
Yeah.
Can he shuffle out,
Yeah, sure.
try and get a little bit closer to see if he can make it
Uh,
anything out?
Yeah, so you shuffle onto the lake, and one thing you notice is that for some reason it's ice, but it's not slippy. Like, it's just like walking on, glass or something. Like, your feet are getting normal traction, but it's ice. It should be slippy, but it just isn't.
Truthfully, Calvin probably wouldn't think that was that weird because he's so used to snow and ice. The Arctic being his favourite terrain.
Is Calvin wearing armor?
He's wearing skill mail.
Okay. I'm going to call out to Sigrid and cast Spiked Armor. And I'll do it as the...
I was reading that one. It is so cool the way you described it. Sorry.
Yeah, and that will create little iron spikes, or actually do it like they come out and they look like porcupine quills from the armor, and they will do 4 damage to anything that attacks him with a natural attack, and they last for 20 minutes.
Yeah. So you just see all these kind of spikes erupt from your armor. And you've probably had it done to you before, having spent, a good year and a bit with skill. But as you walk out onto the ice, nothing seems to be happening.
I'll call back to my companions to let them know, but I don't like this.
But do you keep walking?
I'd probably wait for them to see what
Right.
they would do before I walked any further out.
If you'd like, Skewer will offer to basically kind of cast Sacred Flame in the area just above where it is, like at the ice, just to... Because he doesn't really trust it. He knows that in his belief, giants are tricky and they'll use like all kinds of cowardly traps to lure us in to not have to fight us. So he's willing to try and see if he can trigger the ambush just by throwing down a spell right then and there. What do you guys think? Or just try to walk out onto it?
I'd say it's
No. Try your gambit.
worth a try.
All right. So I'm going to target the area just above the red light and throw down a Sacred Flame. Do you want me to roll damage or...
Don't bother.
Okay.
Don't bother. The ice just erupts in this flame, and you can see very clearly now that the kind of white of the ice is gone. It looks like some kind of hovering, kind of mystical ball. You can see kind of wisps of energy coming off it, but it just seems to be floating there, and nothing happens.
Is it in the water or...
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything that can pull it out? So we could try to lasso it.
Perhaps you could loose an arrow into it. Borvo will cast Mage Hand, and it will dart out 30 feet and then stop.
Well, if we want to shoot at it, I've got a crossbow that I can use. But I don't really want to shoot at something that has a chance of exploding on me, so it's up to you guys.
No, I don't really have anything I can grab it with.
Yeah, and I'm afraid, like I said, I'm afraid to shoot it because I don't know what it is, and that just seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, it seems like I pushed the red button. Sure, nothing bad could happen.
I mean, I guess I'm confident that I'm going to meet my maker after this, so I'll just try to get close to it and see if I can touch it. Well, it's under the water. How deep is it under the water?
It looks pretty deep. Probably about 20 feet.
How far
Oh,
is it
shit,
from
I
the
don't-
ice to the object?
Probably 40 or 50 feet.
I'm wearing chainmail. I mean, this is not going to go well for me if I fall in the water.
Well, looks like Calden's going in the water.
I feel like I had a spell that could help with this, but I can't find it. Not in the ones I prepared.
Oh. Nah, that's useless. Yeah, I think Calden will bite the bullet, bite the arrowhead, and he'll hand his trusted longbow to whoever's closest to him.
Borvo will take it, and he'll sling it over his shoulder.
Keep
I'm
it
not
safe.
fired, friend.
Keep it safe. I'll be back for it soon. We don't have any rope, so this is going to be interesting. Yeah, Calden's going to slip into the water.
All right. As you swim closer to it, it seems the water seems warm. Not hot by any means, not hot enough to melt the ice or anything, but it's like warmer than it should be. And as you get closer and closer, you can see that it essentially looks like a fireball frozen in place that's just burning away.
And if I put my hand out to touch it, is it,
It's
like touching a hot stove?
yeah, like when your hand gets really like it's kind of warm, just warm, and then when your hand's a centimeter away from it, it suddenly starts to burn. But only really close, like there's a tipping point.
And is there anything else I can see underwater?
No,
Just that.
just looks how you'd expect.
I'll take the dagger out of my belt and actually just try and give it a poke for lack of anything else I can think of.
All right, you go to poke it, and the dagger just goes and is sucked out your hand and just disappears.
Okay. I'm going to swim back to the surface.
I was going to say, I dare you to touch it with your hand. No. So you swim back to the surface and relay this to your friends.
Yeah.
And what do you all say?
Shit. We're down a dagger.
Was it just kind of free floating in the water, or is it like resting on something?
Yeah, it's completely stationary, just hovering there.
Wait,
It doesn't look like it's floating. It looks like it's stuck there.
Huh. Alright, so control water probably wouldn't help me either.
As you're discussing this, Anyone who's kind of looking into the water would see it kind of slowly start to rise. Not the water, the red orb. Very slowly.
Uh-oh.
That's where Calvin will present his theory that this is actually a portal of some kind.
And Borvo will hand back the longbow and draw his blades as this thing rises to the surface and possibly above.
Yeah,
Cal-
Warhammer's. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Calvin would ready an arrow.
All right. If I was a bastard, I would I'd give you a point of exhaustion checks, but I think I'll let it slide.
If I was a bastard, I'd argue that I should have a con save before you give me a point of exhaustion.
All right. Make a con save.
At advantage?
No, just
But don't we have advantage from the instance?
Just go. Nice. Just go.
Drop my dice.
18.
19 on the die.
All right. It was just Colden because he jumped in, so you're able to shrug off the effects of whatever cold, because you're used to it. Being a forestman, you're used to the cold.
And
You were going to call him a cold bastard.
for some reason, Calden has one of Borvo's songs stuck in his head, and it goes a little bit like na 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 na.
That's a good one. I love that one.
All right, and the orb continues to rise, and it rises out of the water, and you hear a kind of tearing sound as it sort of elongates and kind of becomes the shape of a very thin, eye that's like that, and widens, and then seemingly out of thin air, the center of it goes black, and charging out of this portal is Bran, who will charge at you, stop seeing there's people there. He's kind of not expecting that, and will growl something in Giant before hurling himself at you. Roll initiative, please.
Can I unleash my Reddit?
Yes, you can.
26.
That'll hit.
I haven't got any of my bonus on, so. Oh, nice. Come on, Matt. 11 damage.
11 damage.
So I'm going last, probably.
Can I just have everyone's audibly so that I can write it down, because I have to be in the other program?
16 for my initiative.
16 for Portnoy. Colvin?
That was 7.
Skewer?
2.
Wow. Isleaf.
9.
Alright. That is one of the worst initiatives I've seen in a while. But no matter. Borvo.
Borvo's up first?
Yeah.
Alright, and is this, did he step onto the ice, sorry?
Yeah, he's on the ice.
Alright, I would, Borvo, yeah, he would advance with his long swords in hand, and, he's gonna cry out, you're the reason we're here, you big, fiery son of a bitch, and he swings both attacks out. And, got a 1 on the dice, so 1 critical fail, and a 15 on the other one, so that goes to 21.
The 21 will hit.
Alright. I rolled a 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 slashing damage. And I will accept whatever crazy critical fail chart you may have for me, if you do have one.
I don't actually.
Okay.
It's fine. You just miss.
But for a bonus action, he'll keep his blades whirling for his flourish, and cast an inspiration die for armor class, and I rolled a 7. So that will go to 24. No. 17 plus 7.
Yeah,
24.
24. Yeah.
So
Wow.
as he's that's his turn.
Awesome. All right, Isleaf.
Wow.
So you've seen this
Yeah,
huge
I'm
flaming giant just leap out of this what looks like a portal and immediately charge at you guys.
Yeah, and seeing Borvo not hesitate at all and moving in towards it, Isleaf's going to be right behind him, knowing that his teammates are here to do a job, and he respects them, so he's going to move into longsword attacks. Let's see, 18 and a 22 to hit.
They both hit.
Okay, that will be, let's see, 7, 11, 17 total for both of them. 17 slashing with the longsword.
Nice.
And I'm going to go ahead and use my action surge. Might as well get it out of the way. Make one more attack with it. And that'll be a 16 to hit.
That's not going to hit, unfortunately.
Okay, good enough.
You
Wouldn't
just kind of
action
hit
surge
off his,
give you 2 attacks?
Yeah, it would actually.
Does it? Okay.
If you have
I'll
two
go ahead
attacks,
and,
yeah.
yep,
It gives
I'll
you
go ahead
another
and-
action. So.
Well, if it's going to miss, I rolled a 3, so I know it misses.
Oh,
We tried.
yeah. Yeah, and your attacks are just kind of cutting into the leather of his boot, those last two.
Okay.
Hold on.
Calder is, well, he's not stupid. This thing is running or making a beeline towards us. He's going to use his movement to get 30 feet back from where he was. As he does so, he's going to mark it, this giant, and then he's going to cast one of his light arrows again.
Nice.
19.
That's going to hit.
Oh, sweet. I'm casting it at second level, by the way.
Very well.
I should have said that.
I'll forgive you.
I just forget, I'm not used to playing
Yeah.
spellcasters. So that's 12, 18, 20, 28 points of radiant damage.
Alright.
And then just shoot off a normal arrow for a 22.
Yep.
And that is 9 piercing.
Alright.
No, tell a lie, it's 11 piercing.
Alright. And he's just kind of, you can tell that this is, he's normally used to sort of getting out of the portal and moving towards the turns or whatever, but for some reason there are some strange small men around. So he is gonna swing twice, once at Borvo and once at Isleaf.
As he swings at Borvo, I'm going to use my reaction of protection to impose disadvantage on attack roll against Borvo. Move it with my shield and.
Awesome. He rolled a 19 and an 18. So my question is, does a 27 hit?
Yes, sir.
Or tell I 29.
Oh, that makes it better.
Just do it.
That misses somehow. And Isleaf, that'll be 29 as well. Jeez.
Yep.
Alright, you both take some damage. Alright. Borvo, you take 30 points of damage as his hammer just basically golf swings you and sends you flying back, cracking the ice. And 28 points of damage to Isleaf as he kind of just backhands you across the mouth with it.
I forgot to say as well, Score will have advantage for being the first one to attack. because of that guiding bolt.
Oh, yeah. Alright. Skewer, you have advantage on your attack if you choose to attack.
Okay. Well, first I'm going to use Bless on everyone. So you guys get the D4 whenever you need it. And then I will use the War Priest power, domain power, to do the attack. So my computer will work. 19 to attack.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right. Let's see. 11 damage.
Okay.
And I will yell out that Sigurd will send him back to the hells, and just basically also probably say something about his mother in the process.
Very well. And we're back to the top. Borvo.
And was Borvo actually knocked back like 10
Not
or 15 feet?
mechanically.
Okay.
You were just
So yeah, still being right up there in the fray. I think I'm casting Cure Wounds on myself, but I must ask: have I noticed if this giant is wearing any metal armor?
Yeah, he is.
As I noticed
his
that
armor is
though, Borvo he sort of crosses his blades as he just quips off a quick song for some what level? Yeah, even the 4th charge level. His one level 4 charge of Cure Wounds, and yeah, he'll pump that into himself. And 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 21 points, but I'll add that on in a second. And with his bonus attack action, he'll just swing out with his offhand weapon.
Sure thing.
And 19 on the dice, so +6, I'm sure that hits.
Yeah.
And he's going for, like his friend told him, to aim for the knee and the legs of these giant brutes, and he got a 7 on the dice, 8, 9, 10, so 10 slashing damage. And that's
All right.
Borvo's turn.
Isleaf.
Yep, I'm gonna keep on see if I can hit him. Let's see, 19 and 26 to hit.
Both hit.
Both will be minimal damage, though. So let's see, 1,
Oh.
2, 8 damage total for both of them. That's it.
Yeah, and you can see he's kind of trying to. It's almost like trying to bat flies, but you guys are quite quick for him, and he's kind of slowly getting slower and slower as you guys are laying into him. Calden.
Sorry, I was just checking something there.
Don't worry about it.
Colden's going to do the same again. Try with the guiding bolt.
I think he crit failed, guys.
Oh yeah, that's a crit on the guiding bolt. But I don't think spells do crit damage, so...
Yeah, they do.
They do, yeah.
Is there not something about that? Is it, I can't remember.
Well, I'm saying they do,
Yeah, fair enough.
so go for it.
I'll prepare for a buttload of damage. Oh, come on! I rolled 3 1s and 2 2s. 10, 15, 26.
Not bad.
And then I'll try and hit him with a normal arrow. That's going to miss.
Alright. And he will growl and reach down, punch the ice, and rip up a chunk. And let's see. I will be throwing, and he will throw this huge hunk of ice at Skewer, I think.
Only
Or-
fair.
Yeah. For a 17 to hit.
That misses.
Bollocks. All right. And
Love
he's,
my shield.
And he's just gonna hit Borvo again with his hammer. That's not great. That's only a 16, so he misses both of those. Now, I've made him very difficult. So on a miss, I'd like you to go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Ooh, Borvo got it too.
Borvo, as he misses, you kind of sidestep, and his hammer smashes into the ice. And as he lifts it away, basically underneath you there is suddenly a massive hole in the ice, and you fall into it. You don't take any damage or anything, but you're currently underwater, and so you'll have to use your movement to climb out.
All right. Does it go back to my top of the order?
It's your first, quickly.
Oh,
Okay. So I'm gonna try one of the other spells that I have, and I will cast Ray of Sickening. So he has to make a. I have it in here Dex, but I think it's supposed to be Wisdom. So he has to make a Wisdom save.
Yep. That's a 4.
Yeah, nice. So he now has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, but he can make a new Wisdom check at the end of every round.
Awesome.
To see if he gets over it. So he's basically puking now.
Yeah, and you can see him kind of take a step back and kind of, breathe in, do that thing where you breathe in through your teeth, and sort of make some deep groaning, gurgling sounds before kind of dry retching. And it's Borvo's turn.
so Borvo just fell down this hole. Can he use his wits and his guile to flip his blades around and try to climb out using his cross guards, like driving them in and pulling himself out?
Yeah, go for it.
Right.
It just takes your movement to climb out.
Cool. So he crawls out, rolls out, and would that even be one of those saves for exhaustion? Because he probably got wet there.
Yeah, we'll say go ahead and make a con save. And we'll also say that if you fail, it's Chex' fault.
So that's 17 if I got that advantage, which I did roll.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
So you're able to kind of shrug off the effects. The scent or the incense still kind of spurring you on.
Do I have enough movement to make it to him? It's fine if I don't.
No, I'd say you don't have quite enough movement to get up to him as he stepped back and you had to climb out.
Then I'll just use a bonus action to use my last charge of inspiration die for just get my blades going again to raise my AC for one round. And rolled a 2 that time, so 17, so 19 for this round.
Great.
And that's Borvo.
Isleaf.
Yep, seeing Borvo, I was fixing to drop to go help him, but seeing him pull himself back up, I think, well, we've got to bring this thing down and bring it down now. So I'm going to keep engaging him. And let's see, 212, so 2 18s to hit.
Oh, just both hit.
Wow, good. 6, 7, 13 total slashing.
Awesome. Awesome.
And I'll say,
sorry, what was that?
I was going to say, don't forget about your blesses, guys.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. You get to add those onto your...
If you want
I
to.
failed the one by too much to bother with it. When I failed my dex, I only got a 2, so I kept it for now.
Okay.
All right, Calder.
Okay, Calder's just going to shoot with his arrows as normal this time. First one I'm going to take the sharpshooter on. And fluff it. And you know what? I'm going to take the sharpshooter on the second as well anyway. Oh, are you kidding me?
Bad luck. And the giant will continue muttering in this guttural tongue as he's going to pull another hunk of ice out. And this time it's going for Colden. 28 to hit.
I think that will do it, yeah.
Where are... Okay. You take 20, 29, 32, 39 points of bludgeoning damage as this huge hunk of ice hits you, square, just straight up hits you. I apologize. And yeah, then he's just gonna try and backhand Isleaf for 22.
That's a hit.
Okay. I need to stop putting d6s over here. You take 29 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And he just like holds his hammer afterwards in one hand and just stares at the sky and screams war cry before Score takes his turn.
Okay. Who's looking the worst right now? I know Calden got a big chunk, but
Borvo's looking good now.
okay. So probably Calden then had the biggest hit.
I think Isleaf's down low as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down to 10 hit points.
Okay. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
But
I
Go
will.
ahead. Go ahead and do what you want to do. Don't worry about me. I'm okay.
Well, that's my job as the cleric. I will do Healing Word at 3rd level spell. So 17 damage healed. And then I will take a extra action to attack, and I'm going to go ahead and use my inspiration on that as well.
Sure thing.
And I actually did roll a crit. Nice.
Good work.
Not going to do hardly any damage though because I suck as a damage dealer. Let's see. 14 damage as I call out to Sigrid and ask her to help me bring him down, and I will, just for flavor text, I swing and cap him right in the knee.
Awesome. And you hear him kind of as you strike him straight in the knee. Borvo.
And for Borvo's turn, he's going to move forward to engage the giant again. And using his bonus action, he'll activate his Oni cloak to heal for 5. And he's pretty much looking like a rejuvenated man now. And he'll swing forward with his action to attack twice with his long blades. And he got a crit and a 22 modified. So for the crit first, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 10 damage slashing on the crit, and then the regular one, 5, 6, 7, 8 slashing, so 18 altogether there. And then he's going to use his action surge and just double down with those attacks, and these ones are going to be outward swinging arcs for the knees yet again. And another crit, and it's the exact same roll. I rolled a 14, so a 22 again as well.
Do it.
So the crit damage, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 slashing, that's the same damage too. And 8, 9, 10, 11 for the second blow. That wasn't a crit.
All right. He is looking exceedingly rough at the moment. He's, he's still feeling ill. He's just kind of choking and just his legs are. You can see this kind of black blood seeping through the plates on his legs. As Isleaf takes his turn.
Dude, I'm an asshat. I've been playing such a fightery bard. I thought I had action surge there. I do have 2-weapon fighting for being College of the Sword, so you got to take off that last.
All right. Thank you for being.
Thanks for being. Sorry about that. I think I did 10 with the first slashing on the second attack.
Yeah. No, I got it here. Thanks,
cool.
man. Thanks.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yep, Isleaf sees that the giant's starting to struggle like he was just a moment ago. In fact, he was reaching towards his backpack to pull out this potion and was going to mechanically disengage, but when the cleric healed him, gave him some points, he kind of gets his resolve back and thinks, I'm going one more round with him. So, you're not going to believe this. I rolled 2 natural 20s.
What is going on?
Wow.
I feel like shit every time.
I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever done that.
I did that once on a what was it, a multi. Wow. I had a multi attack and I had an Eppen roll, 2 natural 20s on his multi attack. But the annoying thing was the attack was against an NPC. So I just killed an NPC.
An integral plot crucial.
Yeah. Not even. It was just.
What's going to get you though is the damage rolls. The damage rolls were horrible. I had 2 1s and a 2. So the total damage is only going to be 17 slashing. Huh.
All right. So after that craziness, Calden.
How are you doing the potions in this one? Are you doing it as a full action or are you doing it as a bonus?
No, bonus action.
You are doing it as a bonus?
Yeah. Not going back.
It was a greater potion, wasn't it?
Right.
So, 4, 10, 12 points of healing. Just let me mark that down before I forget.
Sure.
Okay, and yeah, fire 2 shots with the bow. 20 something, 23.
Yep.
I'll just take my other attack level. No, I won't. I'll throw my dice halfway across the room. I don't know where that went.
These are new dice. That's no way to start the relationship.
It really isn't. Especially when my second roll on a different dice was a 17.
That's gonna miss.
Yep. That is a 12 points of damage. And as movement, I'm gonna actually run towards the beast.
All right. And the beast will swing twice. Once at Calden and once at Isleaf.
I'll use my reaction on Calden to give him disadvantage in on my protection deal.
All right. So that's a 20 unnatural against Calden, and a natural 20 on Isleaf there.
Okay.
It's turning into one of those nights, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait until you.
All right. We'll do Calden first. 24 points to Calden.
Okay.
And Isleaf, I sincerely apologise.
Oh, don't worry. Don't bother me.
Uh, 59 points of damage.
You'll see Isleaf run over and take this hit, and as he's putting up his shield to try to protect the ranger, he just goes down limp, and his shield goes skittering across the ice, and he falls unconscious.
I feel
Skill.
bad. Before you move on, I'm doing a thunderous rebuke thing,
Oh yeah.
the Wrath of the Storm. So he needs to make a dex save,
All right.
which I presume is dex save is my thing with save spell DC.
Yeah, that's gonna be a 10.
Okay, and I'm gonna channel my divinity into it, so he takes 16 points of thunder damage.
Yeah, he's looking super rough right now, but just not quite as rough as his sleeve. Skill.
Is Isleaf? Are you dead or are you dying?
No, I'm just unconscious. It wasn't enough to totally kill me.
Okay, but are you have you
Dex
moved
saves,
into? Have you moved in? Okay,
He's
because I
unconscious,
was gonna.
but he's not just
Okay.
outright dead. Yeah.
All right, because I was gonna cast Spare the Dying if.
Well, yeah, no, that would put him back to 1 hit point. So he's
Okay,
like
yeah, so-
unconscious and about to die if he doesn't do well on his dex saves. Or his.
All right, so I will cast. I'll cast Spare the Dying then
All right.
to save him that, and then I will use my last bonus attack action. 24, but not a crit. 1 point short of a crit.
That's gonna hit.
Bastards. Five damage.
Very well. He's still up,
I'm just gonna
but he's like.
just gonna shout at him to die. like Skewer's just getting really into it and just telling him to die over and over again.
Borvo.
Borvo will. He has the feat to draw two weapons and whatnot, so he'll sheath both his blades, and he'll run to his newly stabilized friend and action greater potion, bonus action greater potion, right down Isleaf's throat.
Oh wow.
So yeah, 2 potions going down there. However many dice they get and stuff. You can roll.
Yeah.
44 plus 4, I think. Greater is.
Right? Yeah, that's right. 44 plus 4. Do you want to roll them, Justin, or you want me to roll them?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
And that's Borvo's turn. And that might have provoked an attack of opportunity, but I think he could have kind of skirted while maintaining engagement, sort of.
Yeah, he's busy.
Cool.
All right, Isleaf. As at the moment you're kind of, everything is black, and you can hear the very, very distant sounds of battle, and you hear this one kind of rumbling. It sounds like thunder miles and miles away, and you feel something cold on your lips, and then the thunder gets louder and louder and louder, and you just hear like as you are thrown. You sit bolt upright. And you're kind of panting, and you hear the giant roaring and see people about you screaming. What would you like to do?
Yeah, waking back up out of this darkness that I thought was going to take me, and seeing Borvo taking away this potion jar, and thinking, well, I'm doing better. Then I look at myself like I'm not doing that well. I'm going to disengage. Use the disengage, back 30 foot, and then take another one of the potions I have of my own.
Sure thing. All right. and after that, Colden.
Okay. um, yeah, go for it. Colden's going to run in and attempt something probably stupid. He's going to actually run up to the thing, and strangely enough, it's the longbow you see him swinging like a battle axe, straight at the giant, and hopefully this works. Oh, let's add the blessed dice to that. That's going to miss 16.
Yeah, that is going to miss, unfortunately, because it just bounces off his boot, and he's going to take one swing at you, Colden, and one swing at Borvo, who's currently kind of kneeling.
And it'll be
Next, what is the
16
vision?
armor class for me because I got my swords away right now.
Sure thing. So that's a 14 against you, Borvo, and a 16 against Colden.
16's my AC, so.
Alright, Colden, you take 29 points of bludgeoning damage
Golden's down.
as his hammer just bang backhands you again. Skill.
All right. On that note, I will cast Spare the Dying, and that's it because I am out of bonus actions.
Alright. So, in that case, if that's your turn, we're back to Borvo.
Borvo will waste no time. He's got to press the attack, and he presses forward and swings out with both blades again. And critical 1 and an 11 with mods.
Both are going to miss, unfortunately. As the giant is now being very defensive, he's brought his hammer down and you just can't quite get past him without seeing yourself being injured.
And Borvo will finish his turn by saying, "Give up now if you want."
Isleaf.
Yep, seeing the Rangers knocked across the ice now, and Isleaf has got a little bit more strength back. He charges right back into the giant to try to bring him down.
Sure thing.
Oh, horrible rolls. Well, one of them's a decent one. Let's see, 23 to hit,
That's going to hit.
but it's
was
only
the
going to be
second
minimal
one?
damage fully.
What was the
3.
other one you rolled?
So it's,
A 3. Okay, then
yeah, it was a 3.
I'll
So
save
yeah,
I'll save the War God's blessing.
Yep. So it's going to be minimal damage, 4 slashing.
Alright.
And I'm just going to stay there engaged with him, hoping maybe he'll focus on me instead of going after someone else.
Colden, you are dead, but you have been stabilized, so you're fine. So we will just go straight to him. One for Isleaf and one for Borvo. Okay, both of them are going to be 19s.
Oh yes, got him.
Yep.
Got me.
Alright, Borvo, you take 4. 26 points of damage. And
Okay.
Isleaf, you take 24 points of damage.
Okay.
Skill.
Oh, sorry.
It's only just become your turn, don't worry.
Okay. I'm gonna use. I think it'll be my last 3rd level spell. So I'm gonna use my last 3rd level spell to cast Healing Word on Calden.
Alright.
And 16 health back.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Same again, Colvin. You just hear this like as you're brought back into the world of the living. Borvo.
And Borvo will use his action to cast a 3rd level curative song upon himself. And so I'll add that up in a second. And he's going to bonus action attack with his offhand. And he got a 12 on the dice. I'm going to use that blessing now, though. Got a 3 there, so 15, 16, so 21 with my mods.
That hits.
And 5, 6, 7, 8 slashing damage as he just swings out with his offhand.
Describe how you kill Bran, the fire giant.
Oh, excellent. Much like the only bard tales that Borvo knows of adultery and fire giants, he in fact did cut the cock off this fire giant as he fell the beast.
That's amazing.
And yeah, so there's 2 thuds as it hits the ground.
And it just kind of falls to its knees, screaming, just bellowing as you dismember him, and you can just deal the final blow directly to the neck, and kind of watch the life leave its eyes. You guys had it on 7 health since before Isleaf went down. You've just been like, oh, I'm healing, oh, I'm going to do this. It's just like 1 hit. No,
I was like, do I heal or do I cast the fire spell? I'll heal.
Yeah, if the opportunity presented itself where I could be offensive with the magic, I was going to say, like, out of character, I think I'm going to heal him with heat metal, but how should we approach it with a roll so I can start down? But it never really came up because I just had to keep bringing party members back and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about fire giants, if they're immune or resist, or if it heals them. I can't remember.
I think they're immune. They used to be immune to fire, but
They are immune, yeah.
I know I was using a flesh golem, and they got healed from lightning, which is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I know some creatures have it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
Well,
right.
the flesh golems
That
are
was
supposed to be
awesome
like
so far.
Frankenstein, so
So,
and definitely, Borvo's going to get right to work hacking off the head.
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm scared to ask, but what are you taking as the trophy?
Oh, guys,
Real
don't cut it up. We could carry the whole thing and just mount his body on the walls because I have ant haul, so I can triple. I could triple our carrying strength, so we could just take the whole thing.
How much does a giant weigh?
So we could all basically just stand atop this giant and surf from home.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is you can actually see Fjellmarch from here. It's actually not that far away, but you can't really go up to this lake. You can only go down from the lake. But it would only take you guys like maybe half a day of walking to actually get there.
Yeah, an ant haul lasts for 10 hours, and I can cast it on all 4 of us. So we could carry him until we get to the horses, and then I'll cast ant haul on them.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So you guys managed to bring the whole giant back, and the faces of people as you basically carry these just normal looking horses carry this massive flat fire giant back into the city. You wish that cameras had been invented, because their faces were pictures, and you're able to walk it right up to the castle and just dump it, and the Jarl comes out and he says, and you can see the kind of shock on his face, and he says, I was not expecting such clear proof of results. This is incredible. And he just says, how did you do it?
The gods were with us this day.
And he
song
says,
is... Oh, go ahead.
clearly. And then Borvo says,
The song of steel was cruel to this beast. And that he's just smiling as he says that.
awesome. And so you guys are handed a sack of 5,000 gold pieces, which 50 of which must go to the Isbrand, and as you make your way back, you're able to spend it on wine and drink and whatever you would spend your money on.
Wine, women, and song.
Yeah.
And I have to donate a lot of it to the church.
Lovely.
At least my share.
Yeah. And yeah, so you guys get back to the Isbrand. We'll just fast forward a bit. And when you get there, people are outside to see you come in, and you're all, looking very ragged and haggard. But everyone's kind of clapping you and giving you a bit of respect because, you guys are going to be the ones who go down in history as the ones who carried the corpse of Bran the Fire Giant into the city of Fjellmarch. Whole, mostly. And yeah, you are greeted by Bear Scalagrim, and he tells you that he is very, very pleased with you and looks forward to seeing the results of your next contract. And that is it for this game, gentlemen.
Awesome.
I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really enjoyed this. I just want to say every single one of you came up with awesome characters, and you really got into it, and I had so much fun there, guys. So thanks so much for playing.
I'm looking forward to more adventures and I hope that I was about to say it right, Svelheim.
Svalheim, yeah.
Svelheim, excellent. Yeah, and maybe I'll get a little thing going on your wiki there too.
Yeah, there's a page. There's a page called the Heroes of Svalheim. You can go on that, and if you click the contribute button in the top right hand corner, you can add a page and add a photo and write out your entire character's backstory and stuff, and you can link it to that page if you want.
Awesome.
And you guys will definitely go into the legends of Svalheim and be world famous for your antics
Definitely
today.
do that.
Great, thanks, Haz. And
I very
as I
much
said,
enjoyed this.
if you want to add anything in to the wiki, go ahead. It's just svalheim.wikia.com. I'll put a link in there.
I think the link is up in the group page, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is in the group page.
Yeah, I've got it open right now.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, thanks to everyone for playing. That was great.